Straight tranksters.
Y'all, I've been waiting for this day for a very long time.
There we go.
To come up here and tell the truth about the Southwest Division. In case you don't know, that includes the Dallas Mavericks. That includes the Dallas Mavericks. That includes the Memphis Grizzlies. That includes the San Antonio Spurs and the New Orleans Pelicans and the Houston Rockets as well.
I'm surprised you didn't bring them up first to appease Mars.
Okay, sometimes you got to drag things out just a little bit. But are you guys ready for this?
Let's do it.
I personally think, and you guys see the title of the show, this division will get tricky. I think this is the division that will throw a curveball to us, and I just don't know what direction it's going to go in. I think it's literally 5 different directions it can go in.
Wait, Brian. It's San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, New Orleans, and
Memphis.
Right. Okay. I'm not as high on Memphis as y'all are.
Jaren Jackson just got hurt. So
what?
Even before that. That's right. What they said, he pulled his hammy or something.
Yeah, so he probably missed the start of the season.
Damn, already, Jaren?
With or without him.
Damn. So no GG Jackson, no GG Jackson, no Triple J to start the season. Well, I might have to back off my my original claim, because we already talked about what the Western Conference is going to be this year, and I think it's going to take close to 50 games to make the playoffs. And if these guys are missing the start of the season, not just Jaren Jackson, but GG Jackson, if GG Jackson's not coming back till after December. Jaren Jackson, that hamstring injury, that could take a month. We don't know. And if you get off to a poor start in the West, you get off to 500, below 500, you're swimming upstream for the rest of the season.
Who would they have to back him up right now? Is what's his name?
Brandon Clark.
Brandon Clark. He's healthy now.
Yeah, but that's still that's a big loss. That's their best defender. Loss. That's their best defender. He was gonna be back at the 4 this year, so he was gonna be better than he was last year, I think. Brandon Clark is nice. I like Brandon Clark, but defensively he just doesn't bring what Jaren Jackson does, and that's assuming he's as mobile as he was before he left, which you never know with a torn Achilles, and he didn't look great when he came.
Hold on, Brandon Clark tore his Achilles.
You don't remember that? Sure.
He missed the whole season.
I knew he missed the season. I didn't know it was an Achilles.
Yeah, he missed the whole season.
So coming back off that, and when he came back to close the year last year, it wasn't in heavy minutes, and he didn't look great in terms of movement and fluidity. But I mean, he was playing 20 minutes in March, so I'm not going to hold that against him. I'm just saying it's possible that he's not going to be as fluid as he was, and he wasn't a great defender to begin with. So concerning, I would say. Concerning.
Well, if you think about who he is, Mars, he's a rotation player. So rotation players, more than anything, have to be healthy, because you already limited, whether it's talent, whether it's mobility, whether it's athleticism, you already limited as it is. So now you're coming in and you're going to have to play starter minutes, and you're going to have to supplement what Triple J did. Now, are you the defender that Triple J was? No. I love Triple J moving to the 4, because with Zach Edey playing at the 5, being a rim protector, I think that he helps them rebound more. But Brandon Clark isn't the rebounder or the rim protector that Triple J was. So now we're questioning his mobility. Couple that all with the Western Conference being a nightmare, I might have to come off my stance.
Chill, for them, it's not just the Western Conference. It's literally this division. It's no easy nights in this division at all. It is scary every direction you look. Every corner you turn, you might run into an alley and get jumped. You might get your chain snatched.
Ron, if you look at the Southwest Division, is there a tougher division in the league than the Southwest Division?
The Pacific is tough.
I think the Central Division is too.
Yeah, but the Central Division has Chicago though. So if there's
Detroit.
There's no Chicago in Detroit and in the Southwest or Pacific. So that would be the difference. But then you could argue the Spurs maybe aren't ready to take that jump. So I would say the Pacific is the toughest division, but I'd say Southwest probably second.
Are we looking at a division with the Pacific Division, or even with the Southwest Division? Are we looking at a division where every team can make the playoffs?
If you believe in the Spurs that much, then
I don't believe in the Spurs that much. I don't. But
What am I missing?
I don't think New Orleans is making the playoffs.
I'd say 4 can. I'm more confident that 3 probably will be in the play-in or better. I don't know about. I'm definitely not saying 5 though.
What am I missing from this division that got y'all so high on it?
I mean, I like Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I think that goes without saying. I like Memphis when healthy. I think that goes without saying. And
you already know how you feel about Houston.
And I'm gonna believe in Houston. So, and New Orleans can be good. I see that avenue for New Orleans being good. And
New Orleans can be. They just don't have a 5-man.
I'm good on New Orleans. I think that I'm on record. I don't think they're making the playoffs. But
I don't think this is a weak division by no means. I think it's a weak division. I just don't think it's so scary. Like, I don't think that tough of a division.
Ox, you the same one that told me.
I'm not high on Memphis. I'm not high on San Antonio. I'm still got to see what the Pelicans are going to do.
It's the same Pelicans that you don't want nothing to do with in the playoffs. Is that correct, Ox, or no?
I got it done.
I don't get why you wouldn't be high on Memphis. Like, not high on Memphis, but
they got their whole crew back.
Memphis and Hokie are good.
They got their whole crew back.
You keep saying that, and they don't have the whole crew back.
You know who has Dylan Brooks, though? You know who has Dylan Brooks?
Yeah, Dylan Brooks is gone.
Okay.
Brandon Clark is not the same Brandon Clark he once was.
But he's back in the lineup.
Steven Adams is out of there. They did.
You know who has Steven Adams? You know who has Steven Adams? You know who
Houston does. Yeah. Well, we replaced Steven Adams with Zach Edey, but keep going.
Zach Edey's here now. He's a young fellow. We got to see how I'm high on Zach Edey, but I still got to see it though. You know what I mean? So I have no reason to feel like Memphis is going to be this team that y'all are making them out to be.
Well, we're not saying they're going to be the 2 seed like they were. Yeah, we're not saying they're going to be the 2 seed like
their core 3. Who's their core 3 is Desmond and Jaren Jackson. Desmond. So Desmond, and Triple J. That's what we're talking about.
Who their core 3 is?
I'm not impressed, bro.
Alligator arms.
I'm Marcus Smart gonna be healthy this year, hopefully. So that's another one. Yeah, no, I don't think anyone's saying they're gonna be the 2 seed like they were in 2023, but they're not gonna be the 14 seeds.
Here's the thing, though. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if Memphis came out. Yeah, I would not be shocked if Memphis came out kicking everybody's asses. John Morant is John Morant. Desmond Bain, contrary to popular belief, a lot of people don't want to give him his flowers, but he's one of the better 3-and-D players in all of the NBA, regardless of the position. Jaren Jackson,
he a two-way player. Not a 3-and-D. He a two-way player.
My bad.
They got a deep bench too. What's their bench look like?
I mean, Gigi Jackson going down.
You debated him in the PCL.
Well, I didn't want to.
Remember Jake LaVria? remember Santi Aldama? Remember you was trying to push us on these guys? Remember Gigi Jackson? You don't remember that? Vince Williams?
I had to. I didn't pick Memphis, bro. Don't act like I was like, hey, Ron, please give me Memphis. Like but
you know their bench and their bench. Like Jake LaRavia is solid. Santi Aldama, I think, is good. John Contra, I think, is good. Vince Williams, I think, is good. They have Luke.
I think Bacot is going to get him some good minutes too. The rook from North Carolina. I think he could help them.
Armando.
I think.
Oh, the big fella. They got him over there.
Yes, sir. I think he can get him some.
I like him as a dirty work. Come in and mix things up. I do like him.
Yep.
They got the G League Defensive Player of the Year, Jay Huff.
But the big fella you were talking about, what he played at UNC for 3 or 4 years.
All 4 years.
He did all 4 years. That's right. He was going to come out last year and then stay. Yeah. Yep. See, and when guys do that, that makes me feel like okay, he's grown man strength already. He's ready to come play. He might not be the most skilled guy, but he'll give you some good minutes. So
we can work on that. You got a sharpshooter in Luke Kennard, right?
Forgot about
and Ox, you were big on him, and I like him too. But Watanabe, I think he's a big deal coming off that bench in Memphis. Yep. I like their rotation guys.
What, Yuda's over there?
Yes.
I thought he went home.
Yeah, I thought he went back to
they have him on the roster.
They do.
He went home. I thought he went home.
I thought he did.
Oh, I thought they just have to pay him.
Maybe that might be the case.
He's still on the roster. Wow.
I like Watanabe though. I do. I'm gonna pretend like I don't.
And to Ron's point, I mean, you can't just dismiss a 27-8 guy back on the roster, right back in effect. I mean, that gives Memphis something that they didn't have last year. I'm down to move off of Marcus Smart because I think he overqualified. He's not a rotation guard. I don't. I think that their starting five is Ja, Desmond Bane, Gigi, Jaren Jackson, Zach. I think that's their starting five. And
I love that starting five too.
I think that's their starting five. And I'm calling up the Houston Rockets. Mars, you're gonna hate me for this. Yep. I'm calling up the Houston Rockets. if I'm the Houston Rockets, I'm calling up Memphis and I'm asking for Marcus Smart. Yes, I am. For VanVleet. I think he's better and I think he's a better fit for him. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I thought he was going to say some Aaron Holiday or something.
Yeah.
Fred VanVleet.
They're not giving up Fred VanVleet for Marcus Smart.
Yeah, we're good. No, thank you.
Why would Memphis want Fred VanVleet?
Well,
that's $40 million, by the way.
Well, by the time it's not like you're getting them right now, but by the time you get them, the contract will be supplemented. On top of that, I think VanVleet is a rotation guard. I always felt like he was. I always felt like VanVleet was a rotation guard. But I mean, I think Marcus Smart fits better in Houston. I think he's overqualified for what he's doing. I think with that crew that they have, with the five that I just talked about, with Brandon Clark, with Luke Kennard, I just feel like Marcus Smart, I don't think he's going to be utilized like he could be with that crew.
How do you think he should be utilized?
I think he's a starter. I do. I think
he is starting.
But here's the thing, though. I think he's a starter with the ball, like he was in Boston. The anchor of that defense.
You want him to be our point guard?
That's what he was in Boston.
Chill.
No. He was a point guard the same way, no disrespect, the same way Derek Fisher was a point guard. Like, yeah, but like at the end of the day, your job is kind of just give the ball to Kobe and Shaq and let the offense run.
So?
I was the same.
He's better than VanVleet at that.
Yeah, he's a point guard, but at the end, his job was to just get the ball to Jason Tatum.
But he's better than VanVleet at that. He's definitely better. I think he's better than VanVleet at that. Yes, he is.
Derek Fisher was way more than that, Morris. Derek Fisher was
100%. He was 100%. He was.
That's why I said no. Like that was like the easiest comparison I could make. But like, he wasn't like when you think like he's not going to run our offense more than he would just like give the ball to Sengun and then space the floor. Like that's what he would do. And there's he's not better than Fred.
Mars, I don't think he's better than Fred, but I do think he'll fit over there a little better than Fred. He's gonna bring better defense, if not, or as good a defense, if not better, more than likely better. He's gonna bring more toughness. I think he brings. I think he matches that grit that you guys need. I think he'll help, and I think he's a little more complimentary than him next to Jalen Green. I would rather the ball be in Jalen Green's hands more and a little less than Fred VanVleet. Fred is gonna look guys off to get his own. Marcus is gonna be like, yo, you guys go over here, you guys go over here. Here, Jalen, you take it here. You post up on the block. He's gonna kind of be more out the way. Fred wants the ball in his hands, and as of right now, if I'm you guys, I want the ball in Jalen Green's hands. I want the ball in Alp's hands. And believe it or not, I want the ball in Reed Shepherd's hands.
I think the concept of Marcus Smart is a lot better than the reality of Marcus Smart. I don't know why we're acting like Marcus Smart at times wasn't hijacking Boston's offense, taking 11 threes in playoff games.
He was.
I don't know why we're acting like Marcus Smart.
No, he was doing that.
I don't know why we're acting like Marcus Smart hasn't had some of the most questionable shot selection over the last 5 years in the NBA. I don't know why we're acting like Marcus Smart hasn't put himself in a larger offensive position than he's justified many times in his career. And Fred VanVleet last year, the only times he would really put himself in that position, really aggressive scoring offensively, is when guys like Jalen Green weren't performing. When Jalen Green had it going, Fred VanVleet took that step back. He made sure he was getting he was making sure he was getting Jalen Green his shots. He made sure when he was running pick and rolls, he was making the right reads. The only times he started becoming an uber aggressive scorer is when Jalen Green was going 5 for 19 and we needed scoring. And that's when he would try and score. He would take those pull-up threes, all of those things. His shot selection, generally speaking, was actually good when our other players were doing their jobs. Defensively, I think Marcus Smart is better. But when it comes to mentorship and what we need, Reed Shepherd, Fred VanVleet is the perfect mentor for him in terms of the size comparison, the shooting ability, the way that they can both be successful on defense. That's a perfect mentor for Reed Shepherd to have. Also, Fred VanVleet is just a far superior offensive player to Marcus Smart. Just far
superior.
He's just so much better than him offensively. I don't even like that's not even a conversation.
I'm not gonna go that far and say far superior, but to your point, when you just talked about shot selection, this is the same dude who played with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and he knew how to get them dudes the ball, and he did know how to get out of the way. And that wasn't something that was on the regular where he was jacking up 10 and 12 threes. No, he definitely got out of the way of Jaylen Brown. When I saw Jaylen Brown going for 24 and 25 and a half, when I saw Jason Tatum going for 40 and 50, he knows how to get out the way. Let's start there. Number two, for a guy who is playing for Ime Udoka when he was in Boston, he knows what that system is. And on top of him knowing what that system is, he knows what they need, not just from a grit standpoint, not just from a defensive standpoint, but also from a continuity standpoint. He knows how to get guys going. He knows how to get out of the way. You, Mars, have said to me, even before this thing started, when you got Fred VanVleet, that you weren't particularly happy about it, not just because of the money, but you did question VanVleet's shot selection from time to time. Because he also
for 82 games.
And then how'd that go?
I think it went well. Good.
Right, you think it went well. So yeah. Again, we're projecting here because Marcus Smart is not in. He's not in Houston. But when I think about what he could bring to that crew in terms of a fit, I don't hate it.
I hate if it's
at this stage in their careers. I think Fred VanVleet's better than Marcus Smart.
Yes.
As just all around as a basketball player, as a point guard especially. I mean, Marcus Smart. I think he's good in the role he's playing, kind of keeping that grit over there in Memphis. Because with that being said, Fred VanVleet, he's a scrappy, gritty type of guy too. He's never been a pushover. He's small, but he's never been a guy you could just push around.
Right.
Facts. He's tough. Him and Dylan Brooks probably the toughest players we played in our starting five last year. Fred plays bigger than he is. He's like 5'11", 6 feet, but he's built big and stocky. Never hides away from matchups where he gets switched onto bigs. Really good hands on defense. The reason Fred VanVleet averages so many blocks is not because he's out there rim protecting. It's because he gets these strips and they count them as blocks. I don't know what the difference between a block and a steal is on those plays, but that's why he averages like 0.8 blocks a game. So
he's good at he's really good at getting to guys before they get to that shot, knocking the ball out of their hands. He's really good at that.
It's the same way Kyrie's good at it, but Fred VanVleet, I think, was led our team in blocks this season.
All right, y'all. We go. That is crazy.
That totally sound correct, Ron. It does.
Yeah. But we're gonna bring it back to the Memphis Grizzlies. This is where we started. So this is where we're going to continue to go with. Chill, I just want to put this on the screen for you. They're saying that this is the first look at the Grizzlies starting five, and it does include Marcus Smart.
That's because Gigi Jackson hurt. That's why.
I mean, Marcus Smart's better than Gigi.
I think he is too, Mars. I won't argue that. But I feel like for what they have, the guy with the ball, number 12, that's Marcus Smart's spot. But we already got that dude and this dude right here. So we already got our starting two guard in Desmond Bane. Gigi Jackson at the 3.
Yeah, so this is apparently what they're rolling out opening night. But I got to ask you guys, let's go around the room. I want to hear how you guys feel about Memphis in totality. Where do you guys think that they'll finish in this division? And what will be their standing overall?
In the West or in the division?
Yeah. Well, no. In the division, and then let me know how far do you guys believe that this team can go in the playoffs?
Second in the division, first round.
Okay.
I had them winning the division in second round, depending on what the matchups were. I had them winning the division. Considering what they had, I didn't know that GG was going to get hurt like that. But now with Jaren Jackson going down, that might be a bit of a problem, considering, because again, Mars and Ox, we got to remember what we're talking about with the Western Conference this year. The Western Conference is a nightmare, right? Because a lot of teams have gotten better. So when you get off to a bad start for a month where you barely 500, and they're the 7 or the 8 seed in the first month, it's going to be hard to make that kind of ground up. They're the kind of team that I feel like they have to get off to a fast start and maintain that. And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do that with both GG and Jaren Jackson out of the lineup for an extended amount of time.
I hear you about the West, but I'm saying the NBA is a nightmare.
Yeah,
the East is not there. I think the whole NBA is a nightmare right now. I think a lot of teams are really good. I could see the Memphis Grizzlies probably being third in division, second, third, or fourth, because I'm not sure about the Pelicans, but the Pelicans are dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if Memphis was fourth in the division, honestly.
So I just did a little bit of research. It says the Grizzlies. Go ahead, Ox.
But I think they're a first round exit if they get that far.
Okay. The Grizzlies lose core player Jaren Jackson Jr. for indefinite period. But then it went on to say, and this was a tweet: Grizzlies power forward / center Jaren Jackson Jr. experienced hamstring tightness during the first practice of camp. He will get imaging. We are anticipating it might be a strain, Coach Taylor Jenkins said. Timetable to be determined.
So we don't know what it is exactly.
Yeah, he'll be all right. We go 3 weeks tightness.
Right. Yeah.
Unless they're very precautionary. He'll be out there.
Which is what it sounds like.
Yeah, if it's just tightness, I don't think that's too big of a deal.
Right. We don't have any structural damage. It's nothing torn or nothing like that. All right. So we good. Okay. So he should be back by the time the season starts.
Yeah.
He should be. But if you look at this unit, though, Ron, if you look at this unit and you look at the way it's put together, getting Ja back in the lineup, I didn't give Ja enough credit for the distributor that he was. I got to give Ja more credit for the passer that he is, right? So with having Luke Kennard, Desmond Bane, one of the best sharpshooters in the game. With him and Luke Kennard, Jaren Jackson can stretch the defense. When you get a playmaker like Ja back in the fold, I think that just enhances what Memphis is already doing. And they already were a good team defensively with Desmond Bane, with Jaren Jackson, now Marcus Smart. And plus with Zach Edey, I think he's going to speed them up. I don't think, Ox, you give them enough credit for how tough they're going to be. I understand where you're at in terms of that division and you're not really sure what's going on with New Orleans. But I think, not just on paper, I think in terms of schemes, because Coach Jenkins, he's really good at not just hunting mismatches. He's really good defensively. I think they're the best team in that division.
Could be. I'm just not sure. I'm just not high on him like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, with that being said, I was really high on Zach Edey. I thought he was the best. I thought Zach Edey should have went number 1 in the draft. You know what I mean? So I like Zach Edey, but the thing about it is, I still got to see it. You know, I still got to see it first. So I'm not gonna put that much stock in a rookie. And that's pretty.
What's your issue with Zach Edey, Ox? Is it because he's a big guy?
I don't have an issue with Zach Edey. My only issue with Zach Edey is that he's just a rookie.
Okay,
he's just a rookie. I haven't seen him play yet. I like Zach Edey a lot. I want to see what's going to happen with Brandon Clark. I want to see what's going on with their bench. Is Gigi Jackson really ready? Is he at that point yet? Are we hyping Gigi Jackson because of the summer league? You know what I mean? Like, I want to see that because in order for them to be that good and make a strong push, I think Gigi Jackson has to be better.
Right.
And I like Gigi off the bench too. I think it's better to bring Gigi off the bench than Marcus, because when you bring him off the bench, you can bring him in for Jaren Jackson, you can bring him in for Marcus, you can actually bring him in for anybody. You know what I mean? Gigi can come in for any 5 players. You know what I'm saying? And they could just move, rotate their lineup.
That's fair, Ox, but I feel like with Gigi in the starting lineup, one, he's 6'9", so that gives me more size. Now I got Marcus Smart in the rotation. He plays behind both Desmond Bane and Ja. So now my backcourt is supplemented. Even though I feel like he's overqualified to do that, he still is viable. So if I got Gigi at 6'9" playing the 3, he can also play some 4 too, because that's where the game is today. If I got him in the starting lineup playing the 3 and the 4, and I got Marcus Smart coming behind them, I just feel like my rotation guys with Luke Kennard, with Brandon Clark, and I think Badcock is going to give you some minutes too. I think that with this team and with their toughness, I just feel like it makes them a lot better.
Can Gigi guard the 3?
I think he can. Yes, I do think that Gigi can guard the 3 at 6'9". The athlete that he is, he showed me in the summer league that he can comprehend. That's what I look for in young players. When I watch young players, what kind of study are you? Are you a quick study? Do I have to keep going over things more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times with you? He looks like he's a guy who picks it up pretty quickly, particularly defense. So I think he can handle himself at the 3 spot. Now, is he Paul George? Is he Scottie Pippen as a defender? No, I'm not going to go that far, but I feel like he can't handle himself defensively.
And he won't even play until what, February? January,
December.
Which I don't understand why it took so long, because you figure Marcus Smart was already out the lineup. Ja went out the lineup. They were decimated by injury. He should have been playing. He should have been playing right from the beginning. He should have been.
You were asking about this season, all right?
Yeah, I'm talking about this season. When is he? When is he going to start playing? He doesn't play December.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just think Memphis is mediocre on both sides of the ball. I don't think they're a great offense. I don't think they're a great defense. I think they're par on both sides of the ball. So that's why I'm not excited about them. They seem like
but they've been a great defense the last 3 seasons. Like even last year, they were a really good defense, and that was the team decimated by injuries. The issue has always been the offense. They just haven't been that good, especially when Ja was in. I think they were the worst offense in the league, especially in the half court. But in the defense, I want to say they were a top 10 defense last year.
I expect them to be top. They might be a top 5 defense. You got to look at who they're rolling out. You got Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane. They both are great on-ball defenders. You know the pest that Marcus Smart is, defensive player of the year. Then you got Ja just being a roamer. Obviously, he's not the best defender, but Ja's pesky. He'll go block a shot. He'll go get in the passing lanes. Don't play with the ball around Ja because he'll take it from you. Then you got Jaren Jackson Jr. anchoring the defense alongside Zach Edey. That's nothing to play around with.
They were a little bit above average last year defensively. I think they were like 11 to 12, something like that. So they were a little bit above average. Like you just said, they were decimated by injury.
Yeah, the thing I look forward to most, and before I get into this, I do want to say I got Memphis finishing 3rd in the division. But the thing I look forward to most is just seeing their young players blossom. We mentioned Zach Edey.
You got the Pelicans in 2nd?
Mars, we'll get to them.
Wow, okay.
We'll get there. It might not be the Pelicans. It might be y'all.
I know
it might be Chris Paul. You never know.
Oh, okay.
You never know. But it's just these young boys over here that I'm looking forward to seeing blossom. Vince Williams, he actually does have an injury too right now, but seeing the steps that he takes this year. We haven't even mentioned him yet. He was a big part of what they did. Well, they didn't do much last year, but he was a good contributor and a surprising piece. So they got him coming back. They got Gigi. They got big dude. Zach Edey. Yeah, and then they got Gigi as well. Like these 3, I'm looking forward to see. And Brandon Clark Chill. I'm looking forward to see what these young guys can bring to their already built and established core, and seeing how much they can contribute.
Let me ask you guys this question. So if I look at
Scottie Pippen Jr. too. Oh, Grande, right?
Pippen,
hey, all right. Hey, that's chill. That's why they don't need Fred VanVleet. They got Scottie Pippen Jr.
He's on that roster this year.
Scottie Pippen. Is Scottie Pippen? Is Scottie Pippen Jr. on their roster?
I don't see him on the roster.
Me neither. I don't see him neither. But I'm looking at Ron. Those guys that you just mentioned in terms of rotation guys and their starters. Okay, so Jaren Jackson should be ready by the time the season starts. We're going to lose Gigi until probably December. Okay, so we open up on opening night. We got Utah. We're in Utah. L or W?
Yeah, Utah start that season like they trying to win. I ain't gonna lie.
Mars was on the train last year. I had to go grab Mars by his shirt and get him off that train.
I'm gonna be honest. Utah till January are always one of the most fun teams to watch, and then they start tanking.
Yes,
they actively try to win and get to like 21, and they'll get to like 21 and 24, and then they'll just sabotage their team and then end up 28.
Recognize that we're not winning. So again, so you like Utah against Memphis on opening night?
Yeah, I got you. No, I got.
Who's at home? Who's at home?
It's in Utah.
Yeah, I might go with Utah.
Okay, so we'll take you. So we'll take Utah. How about the next? So 2 nights later, you got to go to Houston. Okay,
they 0-2.
Okay, so that's 0-2. Okay, the next night, Bonchero was in town with France.
With back-to-back?
Yes, the next night.
Yeah, they 0-3.
Okay, so 2 nights after
Orlando's just better than them, regardless if it's a back-to-back or not.
Right. So 2 nights after that, Chicago's in town. You should beat them.
Oh yeah, they 1-3. They 1-3.
Yeah, and then 2 nights after that, Brooklyn is in town. You should beat them.
They 2-3. They 2-3.
The next night, you got to go. The next night, Giannis is in town.
At Memphis?
Yes.
They're 2-4.
No. Remember they beat the Bucks last year.
Yeah, they did.
That was last year.
I'll say 2 and 4, but I can see a 3 and 3 worlds. I can see a 3 and 3 worlds.
And then 2 nights after that, you got to go see Joel Embiid and Paul George.
We don't know if Joel gonna play, so I'll give them the win.
Okay, so what do we?
Why wouldn't Joel play? What's wrong with him?
Especially a week into the season. A week into the season. He's
on that Ozempic. He lost 35 pounds. He good.
That's what I said. But 3 and 4. I'll give them the win. I'll give them.
That Ozempic doing wonders, man.
So 2 nights after that, we're in Brooklyn again.
Oh yeah, they win 4 and 4.
Okay. 2 nights after that, we got the Lakers.
Ooh.
Is Bronny playing?
Yes.
Well,
yes, Bronny is playing.
I think they're gonna win that one. I think they're 5 and 4. I think they're gonna win that one. They 5 and 4.
And then 2 nights later, you got Washington.
6 and 4.
So that's the first 10 games of the season. 6 and 4. I feel like this is the kind of
stuff considering that schedule. That's not
right. Because like I said, I feel like if you get off to a 1-6 start, 2-7 in the West this year, nah, that can throw a monkey wrench in what you're trying to do. A complete monkey wrench in what you're trying to do. I feel like they have to get off to a good start, especially with Gigi Jackson being out of the lineup. Jaren Jackson, we're not sure about his health. They got to get off to a good start.
All right, y'all. Well, that is that for the Grizzlies. I'm putting up a poll right now. Where will the Grizzlies finish in the conference? 1 through 3 seed, 4 through 6 seed, a play-in or miss the playoffs. Chat, talk to me. Let me know how you feel about the Grizzlies. And while you're doing that, you know the drill. Go like the video. Go subscribe to the channel. Go become a member. And speaking of which, shout out to all of our Hall of Famers. Shout out to Arch. Shout out to GDHDG, Kendall Daniels, Cobra Son of Raditz, Multi Kenny, Hutton Gilgores, and last but definitely not least, we got our latest Hall of Famer, Arch Prime. Salute to all of them. They holding it down in the Hall of Fame tier. You should do the same thing as well. We're going to move on to the very next team. I do got a couple super chats. Drink More Water said, Pat Bev better be a man of his word.
I don't know what that means.
Talking about.
Now, he deserves everything he getting over there. Idiot.
What happened?
He wanted to go to Israel. Now he getting bombed.
It's
tough.
Yo.
That is going on over there.
Yeah, he said, hey, one bomb go up, I'm gone. Stay there.
It's always bombs over in that area. He'll be all right.
Well, praying for everybody's safety. Chris Cold has been a member for 4 months. He said Liberty spanking the championship vibes or sparking the championship vibes in New York.
Can we be honest? Because you and me have had this conversation a number of different times. What did the Liberty do yesterday that they weren't supposed to? All they did was defend their home floor. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all they did.
Becky.
That's all they did. That's it.
That was a very winnable game for the AC.
Yes, it was. Ron.
They didn't win.
They didn't win, Ron. But there was no reason for Kelsey Plum to be in that ball game at the end of the game. And on top of that, if you're gonna bring her in, why would you bring her in the game for Alicia Clark? And that was just a bad move. That was just a bad move from Becky Hammond. But great move by the New York Liberty when Jaquel set that moving screen and Sabrina came off and hit the 3. And she made it. And Sabrina was like, call the replay. And coach was like, no, Sabrina. She saved it and used it at the end of the game.
The Kelsey Plum.
That won the game.
Right.
Kelsey Plum, because as we've talked about before, Chill, they're gonna pick on Kelsey. That's always the move. That's the only move against the Aces on offense is you have to pick on Kelsey. So that's what I'm saying. We just want Alicia Clark and Tiffany Hayes minutes. That's all we want. So for you to be going on that, Alicia hits the big 3 ball, and then you bring Kelsey Plum back in the game, and you're trying to force the ball to the only 5'2" person on the floor, and Jackie Young is wide open at the top of the key.
Wide open.
Oh my God, Becky sold us. And then
maybe the Liberty are just a better team.
And then Sabrina missed the free throws, opened the game for him. Wide open. Sabrina Ionescu missing free throws is like God saying, you can win this one. And then you bring Kelsey Plum back in the game. And I just don't understand it. Because my thing is Kelsey is providing absolutely nothing. Absolutely. If you're 5'5" and you can't guard anybody on the defense, the least you can do is provide some on offense. I'm just so tired of her being 5'5", running through the lane with these running layups. It's just terrible. Like, please stop with this shit.
Can we get the best player on the planet more than 9 shots too? Can we do that? I mean, as good as Jacquel is as a defender, I won't argue that. I think she's a damn good defender. But can we get Asia more than 9 shots? That's not going to get it done.
She had 4 in the first half. I think she ended with like 13 though, too.
I think she went 6 for 9 last night.
Okay. Well, she I mean, Jacquel can't guard her. When she gets the ball, it's over. She can't.
I think she does a good job. I think she does a good job.
She didn't shoot 9 shots, and I knew she didn't shoot 9 shots. She shot 18 shots. She went 11 for 18, and I knew that because she damn near shot 9 shots in the fourth quarter.
That's what
9 in the fourth. She had 4 in the first half, but I know
that's what I'm thinking about. 9 shots in the fourth. We got to get her more than 9 shots. I think she went like 6 for 9 in the fourth.
I don't understand. Like sometimes you can overcoach, and I hate when I see coaches just overcoaching. It's just really simple. We're down 2.
Yeah,
we're down 2. There's 10 seconds left in the game. It's really simple. Get the ball to Jackie. Get the ball to Asia at the top of the key. And let her work. Why are we trying to give the ball to Kelsey Plum at all?
They didn't. That play wasn't drawn up for Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum had to get open to come get the ball because the person who it was supposed to go to couldn't get open.
Jackie Young was wide open.
I can't remember exactly who it was, but they were trying to get the ball to somebody right there, and the Liberty just played good defense. Kelsey had to come to the ball because the other players weren't getting open.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching. Jackie Young was wide open.
I was watching too.
Okay, so me and Chill were just talking. Me and Chill just both acknowledged that Jackie Young was wide open at the top of the key.
Wide open
at the top of the key. So there had to be something that they were trying to do in this corner over here with Kelsey Plum because she came way from over there and came to the hash or whatever. There was no reason for her to unless they're trying to get her the ball. There was no reason for her to be there. There was no reason to not give Jackie the ball up top unless we're directly trying to run something over here. Right. So it's just overcoaching. But most importantly, Ron, she shouldn't have been in the game.
Yeah, either way it goes, I think we nitpicking right now. I think the Liberty are just clearly the better team right now. Sabrina is out for blood. Stewie's not playing. John Quayle is a monster. Courtney Vandersloot's playing her perfect role coming off the bench.
Courtney did her thing.
Benaya Laney is doing her thing. It's just Thornton knocking down shots.
How can you watch that game? How can you watch that game yesterday and say that they're obviously the better team?
Because I seen game 1 too.
What about yesterday's game shows you that this is obviously the better team?
Because I seen game 1 too.
Okay.
Game 1 they clearly outplayed them, and then game 2 it was a neck and neck game and they pulled it out. And on top of that, the Aces had to come back. The Liberty were controlling the majority of the game.
The Liberty had to come back.
I mean, my bad. I meant the Aces had to come back. The Liberty were controlling the majority of the game.
The Liberty had to come back. The Aces got on their ass.
The second half, the Liberty were controlling that game.
Well, say that then. I'm saying like it wasn't like the Liberty controlled that whole game, bro. The Aces had it. It was a roller coaster game. It was a good game.
But
you know what though, the Liberty went away from what was really working for them. When especially with Alicia Clark coming in guarding Stewie, I really like how they was running that. Stewie bringing the ball up, dish it off, cut through, and then was pinning her down there. Like they were running that motion. If they would have stuck to that, I think it would have been I don't think it would have been that close. I don't know how but it was that full court defense that the Aces put on with Tiffany Hayes in the game.
I just like what Phoebich did. It was either Phoebich or Laney where they were, you and me just talked about it, Ox, where they clearly went after Kelsey Plum, getting switches to go after Kelsey Plum. And she just was too small. They get her on the block, and I think she picked up 2 fouls in like the first 2 minutes of the game. She's becoming almost unplayable, Ox. She
is unplayable in this series because she's not providing offensive.
Yeah, she's becoming almost unplayable.
I would definitely start Chelsea, Tiffany, Jackie, Alicia, and Asia right there. And Kelsey, you come off when we need some shooting. You come off and shoot the ball. If you don't want to come out and shoot, just sit down. Simple.
Yeah, but all right, y'all. We are going to get to the next team in the division, and I think it would be suitable and honorable for us to talk about the team that went the furthest in the playoffs last year, went to the NBA championship. They have one of the best players in the NBA, 2 of the best players in the NBA. Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, and the Dallas Mavericks. Talk to me, fellas, about how we're feeling about this team and where you think they will land in this division.
At the top. I think they're a better team, but I don't know if that means they're going to have a better record. Health is always a concern. I don't view them as a regular season team, if I'm being honest. Jason Kidd seems to experiment a lot during the regular seasons with his lineups and his schematics and all of those things. He'll sacrifice wins in the short term for long-term preparation. He does that all the time, it seems. They've been relatively unhealthy over the past couple regular seasons. Kyrie's probably gonna miss some time. I wouldn't be surprised if I think Maxi Kleber's not even healthy right now. A lot of their bench depth I don't think is great, which they're gonna use in the regular season. So I don't view them as the best regular season team. I think in the playoffs they're by far the best team in this division. But I think they just got enough talent, and I'm not going to just predict a bunch of injuries for them. So I think they're going to finish at the top of the division, around 50 wins. I don't know if that's 54 or 49, but around 50 wins. But I do think they're by far and away the best team in this division. Like in a series or however you want to measure it, they would destroy every team in this division in the series, I think.
Well, they got the best player in the division. We could start there. And since we're being honest, but like when I talked about the Denver Nuggets winning the NBA championship, I got to put them in the middle of it off the strength that they got the best player in the league. And I said the same thing about Milwaukee, even though I think that they're fool's gold. But the fact that they got arguably the best player in the league, they got a chance. Well, this Dallas team, they got the best player in the division. Luka is the best player in the division. When I look at what their roster looks like, and I look at how much better they're going to be this year, I think Derek Lively takes a step. Derek Lively showed me a lot last year that I didn't know about him. I didn't know how smart he was as a basketball player. I didn't know how good he was at being able to recognize things and be the quick study that he is, being able to play drop, not just on the defensive end, but on the offensive end, being able to hit a guy on the short roll, being able to recognize when to hit a guy at the long ball line. So now you add a DN3 guy like in Najee Marshall, you add a DN3 guy in Najee Marshall. I think that's a big deal for this group. And then you add another guy in Quentin Grimes, who I think Luka can get these guys involved in the game if the offense moved a little bit more. That's the thing that I'm concerned with Dallas more than anything. If the offense and the ball moved a little bit more, I think their offense would be a lot better. But because the ball doesn't move, now you got a guy in Klay Thompson who now is going to be more of a spot-up shooter than he is off the move. So I think that could very well affect his game, considering the injuries that he's had and how much it slowed him down. But they still got the best player in the division. Because they got the best player in the division, I think that they got some of the best talent in the division. I see Dallas at the top of this division.
I think Klay needs that now. I don't think he's the same Klay Thompson as that motion, how much running he used to do with Golden State, how him and Steph was always running. I think he's at that point in his career where he's slowed down and he needs to be more spot up now. So like I said before, if anybody can catch grenades and shoot it, it's Klay Thompson. if there's anybody in the league that can play hot potato with grenades, it's Klay Thompson. And so I think I'm really excited to see what they do over there this year. I think Dallas might be better this year. I would not be shocked if they go back to the championship.
Now, Ron, remember what I said? I said that Dallas is at the top of the division. I didn't say they were the best team in the division. I just said they're at the top of the division. So I
think they're hands down the best team in the division. I don't even think it's close. I think they murder this division. Like they're far. There's a gap. I think it's the Mavericks, and then
everybody else,
like a Grand Canyon size gap, and then everybody else. They're wrecking this division. And I think, like I said already, I think Klay Thompson is the perfect player to be over there with Luka. Like, I don't know. I think they do. I think they did well. They lost Derrick Jones Jr., but I think Najee Marshall's better.
He is. Klay said Luka's the best player he's seen in the pick and roll ever. So
what?
That's what he said.
With a straight face, he said that?
Yeah, he's just watching him in the pick and roll, seeing how he gets guys open and all those things. He said it's the best he ever seen.
Ron, I'm on your page. I'm right on your page with that, Ron.
That's wild, Mars.
Hell yes, that's wild.
Who do you think it is?
The best player he's ever seen in the pick and roll?
Yeah.
Are we forgetting about the dude he played with?
Well, Steph uses the pick and roll more to score. I think he's talking about Luka's ability to find him, really. Find his shooters.
Of course, I'm going to say that.
Yeah,
that's not a crazy take, though.
I think that's what he's talking about. Luka's ability to not only score, but find shooters, kick out passes, make every pass out of the pick and roll, see over the top of the defense. All of those things. I mean, like Steph in the pick and roll, most of his reads are the short roll to Draymond because teams blitz him. Luka gets blitzed a lot too, but he's still able to make those skip passes. He's still able to play in the pocket. That's why Derek Lively's good. But the Warriors don't run as much pick and roll as the Mavericks do. I don't know where the Mavericks rank in pick and roll, but I'm sure it's high. So him watching Luka, it's pretty obvious to see it's different. And for Clay, maybe he prefers it the Luka way, where it's less motion based and less ball movement, and it's just one guy creating shots for everyone. Maybe he is going to be better just as a stationary catch and shoot guy, more than off screen, coming off calls, off ball movement, all of that. Maybe that's what he's best suited for now. I don't know, but I don't think saying Luka's the best he ever seen in the pick and roll is crazy. I don't think saying Luka's the best anyone's ever seen is crazy. I don't think it's crazy.
I don't think he's the best pick and roll player ever, but for you to be, you're new on the team, I think he's good enough to where you can say that, and it's not like a crazy statement. If you don't blitz Luka on that pick and roll, he does absolutely whatever he wants to do. If you don't blitz that pick and roll, Luka is
even when you blitz him, he does whatever he wants.
When you do blitz him, it gets a little different. But when you don't blitz it, it's kind of like, well, you're not trying to guard it. It's like, what are you doing? You have to blitz it. You have to blitz Luka high too. You know what I'm saying? You got to get up there really high, push him back in the corner. If not, you're screwed. You're screwed.
Yeah,
he's too big. He's too big. He plays with too much pace. You know what I mean? And then he can see everything. He's 6'8". He can see everything.
Yes,
and he controls everything too. Like the way he'll look off a defender, like he'll know, like if you blitz him, the low man has to tag the big and the roll, but he also has to play the corner. The way Luka will just manipulate that defender and make him decide where he want to go, and he'll just make the pass the other way. I'm like, I wouldn't want to be in that situation because he gonna embarrass you. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna embarrass you if you're in that position. So yeah,
damn.
I mean, who you got? I mean,
the guy
who you've ever seen is a lot of names.
No, well, forget who I've ever seen. I'm just talking about him specifically, and I'm thinking about the guy he played with. Ron, I'm gonna say that this chick, the best chick that I ever been with, because she's taking me shopping more and she buying me more shit. I'm definitely gonna say she's the best.
I mean, but this is a little different, though.
He ain't saying Luka's better than Steph. He just said in the pick and roll.
And the pick and that's all we're talking about. And in the pick and roll,
Steph ain't the best at everything.
No, he's not. 100% he's not. But when we're talking about in the pick and roll, what are we talking about? We're talking about your ability to distribute. We're talking about your ability to create shots, not just for you, but for other people. Mm-hmm. How do you play downhill? How do you come off the pick and roll? How do you crack the long ball? How do you do all of these other things? And I think about the guy you played with. I mean, he was pretty damn good at that stuff. He was pretty damn good at that stuff.
Chill, I think Luka got Steph. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, okay.
He's more crafty. He plays with more pace. Steph coming off the pick and roll, and I'm not saying this to undermine anything he does, but Steph coming off the pick and roll is a major threat coming off to shoot that three. Mm-hmm. After that, it's kind of like, yes, he's good. He's good at everything else, but after that, it's kind of like, all right, he didn't get that three off. Right. Perfect. Luka can come off, crack that three. Luka can come off, probe the defense, put the defender in jail, cook him all the way to the hoop. Luka can come off and get the switch, and Luka's just as scary as Steph with the switch, if not scarier. Luka can come off, make that initial read. Luka can probe the defense, get in the paint, get that lob. We don't see Steph. Now, Steph hasn't played with the vertical centers that Luka's played with.
Right.
But we see that, like, Luka works that to perfection. When he puts that defender in jail, probes the defender, makes the pick and roll big have to come to him and just throws that lob up. Like Luka get 4 or 5 assists off that a game.
I think Luka's more versatile off the pick and roll for sure.
And that's what it is.
I can get with that. But what you were saying a second ago, Ron, when it gets to that switch, I never seen nobody play with their food like Steph Curry though.
No, you ain't
Rudy Gobert?
No, you just don't like James Harden.
Conference finals?
Come on, man. That's
conference finals. We haven't seen. Yo, Luka made his
yell out one play.
I was just about to get in the floor.
Hold on.
Luka made his name off the pick and roll in the EuroLeague when he hit the game-winning shot. It made the defending big fall. Literally the same thing he did to Rudy Gobert. Hit him with that crossover. Dude slipped. Yo, it's literally one of the best plays that's ever been made in the EuroLeague history. Made dude fall.
I've seen them play too, but we're talking about the NBA. I'm talking when Steph. It's not the same thing. When Steph come off that, when Steph get that switch, it's Steph got action coming off of that. He play with his food. He can get the 3 ball off. But the thing about it is, Steph is underrated going to the rim too. That little runner, the little floater too. Now he's not the passer Luka is. I would say, like I said, Luka's much more versatile coming off that pick and roll. He can do more. He's bigger. He can get going downhill. But Steph is lethal though. I can't really call it. I don't know who's better on that pick and roll. I don't know.
The issue that I'm having with it, and that's not to say because I watched Luka in the pick and roll, and he gets you on that hip, you're finished. When he gets you on that hip, he's like you mentioned, Oxy, 6'7", 6'8". When he gets you on that hip, you can't do anything with him, especially when he's going downhill, because he's so good at not only just getting off the ball, he's so good at getting to the rim, and he knows who to find. He knows when to find them. Mm-hmm. He's such a great scorer. But when I think about Curry, the amount of space he creates, because he can shoot it from the 3rd row, that guy that's sitting in the thing, he can shoot it from there. So he puts you in a blender, and he can get off the ball. He's not the distributor that Luka is, but when he puts you in that blender, forget it. And this is the guy that Clay played with. So for you to it sounds dismissive to me more than anything.
I think that's okay though. I think that's fine for Clay. I think Clay said what he was supposed to say. On top of that, Luka is qualified. Luka meets all the qualifications for you to say that about him anyway. So I don't think he was wrong in saying that. On top of that, there's also that thing where I'm just throwing shots at my brother too. You know what I mean? Like he gonna hear that. He know what's up. You know, just like Draymond said, I'm gonna run through Clay's chest. It's supposed to do that. It's all love. I don't think Steph takes it personal.
Yeah, well, y'all, I have to go back and recant the statement. I said I have the Memphis Grizzlies finishing 3rd. I have the Memphis Grizzlies finishing 2nd. I have the Mavericks finishing 3rd. And I'm disappointed in you guys. Highly disappointed in you guys. Because you just failed to keep the same energy. We talked about the Indiana Pacers the other day. Yep. And you said, "Oh, we got this offense, and how's this offense going to carry them? And they don't have no defense, yada 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 yada." Well, I'm seeing the same thing with the Dallas Mavericks. They have no defense. If you think Najee Marshall's going to come in here and hold the whole fort up on the defensive end by himself,
Ron, nobody's saying that he's holding the fort up by himself. And Derek Lively's going to be. What are you talking about, Ron?
Wait, did they have no defense last year?
Right.
Derek Jones Jr. was one of their better perimeter defenders.
And Najee Marshall
was better than him. But that's besides the point. Did they have no defense last year?
Derek Jones Jr., Josh Green were 2 pivotal pieces on their defense.
100%.
Now Josh Green is a
defender. So we forgetting about Derek Lively, the rim protector that he is.
Now let's keep going. Can we add context to the whole thing? Can we add context to the whole thing?
Please do.
Who is now replacing these guys?
Right.
Najee Marshall, Quentin.
No, Mars. Talk about the main guy. Klay Thompson. Yes, can we address Klay Thompson?
Okay, we can address Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is not a good defender anymore. But let's also understand the game of basketball, right? So last year, They acquired Daniel Gafford at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have him for the first half of the season. Daniel Gafford is a better defensive player than anyone they had backing up Derek Lively before that. They now have him for a full season this year.
Mm-hmm.
Great acquisition. They also acquired PJ Washington, who is probably their second or third best defender in the postseason last year, who they didn't have for a full year.
PJ was all right. PJ was all right.
They're also going to have him for a full season this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another defender who they're going to have for a full year this year. Derek Jones Jr. is someone who they had for the whole of last season, and he was probably their most impactful point of attack defender. They've also acquired someone who I believe, and who I think anyone who watched the Pelicans last year would also believe, is a better defender than Derek Jones Jr. is, where especially off the ball, but on the ball, I think picking up 94 feet, the ball pressure, all of those things, he's better than Derek Jones. They're going to have him for a full season this year. Quentin Grimes is someone who clears Josh Green on defense. I don't know why.
Do you fight that? Do you fight that?
I don't know why acting like Josh Green is a defender. He try hard. He don't be playing defense. But shout out to him.
Part of defense is trying hard.
Yeah,
right.
You have to actually
that effort is a pivotal part of defense, and that's why Luka and Kyrie aren't defenders.
Hard isn't enough to make you a good defender if you're a bad defender. You can try to get through a screen. If you can't get through.
Wait, Mars, is Clay a bad defender now, or just not as good as he once was?
He's not close. He's not close to what
he's just limited.
Does that make him better?
I would say he doesn't make your defense better. That's the best way I can define it. I would say he doesn't make your defense better. But maybe that's because he was overexerted on offense last year. Maybe he can be somewhat of a neutral. But even with Klay Thompson, who, yes, is a worse defender than who they had starting in that position last year, the Mavericks have more defensive personnel this year than they had last year. So especially when you talk about situational closing lineups, making adjustments for certain teams, the Mavericks have more versatility and flexibility defensively now than they had last year, especially over the whole course of the season. But even on the post-trade deadline Dallas Mavericks team, that was one of the best defenses in the league. They have better defensive personnel now. So if your belief is, well, the Indiana Pacers, people say they can't play defense, so Dallas are the same, then respectfully, we should read some super chats.
Their perimeter defense is cooked. I don't think that Quentin Grimes and Najee Marshall is going to carry this perimeter defense when you're playing Klay Thompson 30 minutes a night, when you're playing Kyrie Irving 30 minutes a night, when you're playing Luka Doncic 30 minutes a night, but you guys will sit around and slander Tyrese Halliburton and Trae Young, but won't hold the same. Ox, you occasionally will, but the rest of you guys won't hold the same energy. They're going to be playing all three of these guys at the same time. PJ Washington is going to be able to fill them gaps. Daniel Gafford is just going to be able to clean up every mistake that they make or every lack of effort.
It's going to be a lot of funneling to the rim like they did in the postseason. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a lot of funneling to the rim, where we understand that they're not going to have a elite point of attack. Like, they're not the Pelicans. With the Pelicans' plan of defense was, we don't have rim protection, so we got to try to keep you away from the rim. Miami's plan of defense is, we don't have rim protection, because we're going to switch a lot, so we're going to end up stopping you from getting to the rim. The Denver Nuggets is, we got Jokic trying to protect the rim, so we're going to try and stop you from getting to the rim. The Mavericks are going to be the opposite. We don't have perimeter defense, similar to like a Utah Jazz in the regular season. We don't have perimeter defense, but if we can funnel you the best we can and rotate outside of that to not give up wide open threes, and we funnel you to our elite rim protection in Derek Lively or an elite shot blocker in Daniel Gafford, we can have a competent regular season defense. And especially once we talk about what makes these teams great is how they match up in the playoffs and how they have matchups and versatility and flexibility on defense in the postseason, they're going to be perfectly fine. In the regular season, are they going to be a top 5 defense? Probably not. I've already said Jason Kidd likes to experiment. Jason Kidd likes to try new things. Jason Kidd's going to experiment with lineups. He's not just going to run Luka, Kyrie, and Klay together for 30 minutes a game. They're probably going to play about 18 minutes all together. In total, all of them on the court at the same time, probably going to be about 18 minutes. The other 30 minutes is going to be Luka and Kyrie, Kyrie and Klay, Luka and Klay, without one of them on the court. That's how basketball works. You don't just play all of your best guys 30 minutes a game at the same time. No team does that. The Nuggets don't do that. The Bucks don't do that. Whoever you want to say, none of them do that. So 18 minutes maybe, where they're all on the court at the same time. Will they sacrifice some defense in those minutes? Probably. Will they have maybe the best offense in the league in those minutes? Probably. So I think they'll be all right. But when they actually stagger their lineups and they have Luka out there with Kyrie and Najee Marshall, with PJ Washington, or they have Luka, Quentin Grimes, and Klay, however they want to do it, their defense is going to be good enough to where them having maybe the best offense in the NBA in those minutes will be fine. I also am one of the people who, I'm not as low on the Indiana Pacers defense as a lot of people. So that's another thing, but that's besides the point. This idea that you're comparing the Indiana Pacers to the Dallas Mavericks, I think is silly. But
I also just don't believe the Mavericks are, and I said this last year, said this in the playoffs, I just don't believe they're as good as they showed us. Yes, they made a finals run, but
you think they got lucky with their matchups? You think that's what it was more than anything?
I mean, they won those games, so I can't say that they got lucky, but I just don't believe that they are that good of a team. I think that the Memphis Grizzlies this year will be a better team, and a team that I will eventually tell you guys that I have at number one. I think they're a better team as well too. I'm not that high on the Dallas Mavericks.
Luka already showed me.
I see why people say we hate the Mavericks on this show, because Ox hates Luka. Chill be hating and acting like he not, and Ron is just hating. Yeah, so
I'm not hating. I just don't think they're as good as you guys think they are.
I'm the only one.
Wait, right there.
I've been praising
Luka. Today you've been cool. I'm talking general.
No, Mars, I do that a lot. I speak good about Luka a lot, and people only.
Yeah, so then when you hate, you can be like, I speak good on him all the time.
Well, I'm not doing it for that. It's not. See, I don't do that. I just talk what I see. I think Luka's amazing.
Even this episode, if anyone could shoot grenades, it's Klay Thompson. Like
100%, and
he's a grenade launcher.
See, like that's what I'm gonna say. You're a hater.
That's not.
You could call it hate all you want. You could call it hate all you want.
I could go to the facts. When you look at shooting the shots towards the end of the shot clock, Luka takes way more than anyone in the NBA. So how is he the one launching grenades to his teammates if he's the one shooting them? When the
he might shoot a lot, but he still throws a lot of grenades.
Yes, he does, Mars. We can't argue that. There's no way you can argue that.
The Mavericks in general, when it comes to shooting shots towards the end of the clock, they don't shoot that many. When they do, it's Luka. Luka shoots most of them. So how are we going to call him a grenade launcher?
But even if he does shoot most of them, Mars, he doesn't shoot all of them. And we can't sit here and act like we haven't seen Luka getting the ball to Tim Hardaway with 3 seconds on the shot clock. We can't sit here and act like we haven't seen Luka getting the ball to PJ Washington with 4 seconds on the shot clock. We can't sit here and act like we haven't seen Luka hold on to the basketball and try to get downhill late in the shot clock, and then he's giving the ball to Derek Lively. And now a guy has to shoot a bad shot. We can't sit there and act like we haven't seen that. So I can recognize you could call me you could call me hating on Luka. You know what? I'll wear it because I'm already on record saying he's the worst defender in the league. I'm already on record saying that. I'm already on record saying him on the perimeter. I've seen him get down in the stance. I've seen him get his hands. I've seen him get his feet moving and his hands busy. And I've seen him actually get in front of a guy and then slow him down. And then the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trips, he won't guard. He won't compete. I can't handle that. And because I call him on it, I'm hating him? Hell no, I'm not hating him. You want to be in the same category with the best players in the league. If you show me that you can do something, you should be doing it more consistently. Don't tell me that you can do this and then only do it when you feel like doing it. That's bullshit.
Looking at late clock shots, Luka, and I'll do regular season. I'll do playoffs and then I'll do regular season. In terms of guys who actually played in the postseason, Luka took 2.5 late clock shots a game. The next closest was Kyrie at 1.3. Kyrie's another shot creator. Kyrie actually shot 66% on those shots, by the way. PJ Washington took 1. Maxi Kleber took 0.8. Tim Hardaway took...
Where's there a stat?
No, because guys just want to say stuff, but when the numbers don't back this up, we're just going to...
What the hell is there? There's a stat for when guys at the end of the shot clock? What the hell? Even though I'm watching
you clearly only remember the times it happens because Tim Hardaway's taking less than 1 a game. Jaden Hardy's taking half a game. Daniel Gaffer's taking half a game, and we know they're all dunks anyway. Derek Jones is taking half a game. Josh Green is taking 0.4 a game. Dante Exum took 0.3 a game, and Derek Lively took 1 every 5 games, and that's in the playoffs. The only one who took even above 1.5 a game was Luka, 2.4. And when it comes to threes, the only person who took one late clock 3 a game, which is what we talk about when we talk about launching grenades, late clock threes. The only one who took 1 a game was Luka. The only one who took above 0.5 a game was Luka and Kyrie. So who is he launching these grenades to? The one every other game to Maxi Kleber? That's what we're talking about. One every other game. Is that
just those are just the playoff numbers?
Okay, I'll go regular season. We'll do regular season as well. Let's see what we got. In regular season, the only people taking above 1 a game in the regular season, Luka 1.6, Kyrie 1.1, and PJ Washington at 1. So 1 time a game, PJ Washington would take a late clock shot. The only people and no one took a late clock 3 a game, including Luka. It was Luka 0.9, PJ Washington 0.8, Tim Hardaway 0.7, everyone else 1 every other game. Kyrie 1 in 2 games, Josh Green 1 in 2 games. Grant Williams got traded early. I'm not going to include him. 0.3 a game. Jaden Hardy 0.3 a game. Dante Exum 0.3 a game. Derrick Jones, 0.3 a game. So 1 in every 3 games, they're going to take 1 late clock 3. I'm just going to call him a grenade launcher. I could go through every team in the league, and I'm damn sure there's going to be more numbers than this for them. But we don't call their players grenade launchers.
Yes, we do. We 100% could do that. We can watch. Wait. How many times have we talked about?
I've called Jalen Brunson a grenade launcher.
And Trae Young, 100%.
But I'm saying, though, how are these?
Okay. No, you
said
Trae Young.
Yes, we have. But
what's considered late game? What's considered
late clock with less than
late clock? I didn't know they had a number for that. I'm sitting here watching with my eyes, and I'm watching Luka pass the ball. But I didn't know that they had a number for that, Mars. So
Trae Young,
to your point,
taking a late clock 3 a game in Atlanta. No one's doing it. So even if you say about Trae Young, it's still not true. No one's taking one late clock 3 a game in Atlanta. These teams doesn't
necessarily have to be a 3 Mars, but when you dribble the ball for 13, 14 seconds and you kick the ball to somebody with 3-4 seconds left in the shot clock and they got somebody closing out on them, you're a grenade launcher.
We got
even based on that.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We got numbers. We got numbers for everything. There might be a number for how many times Luka dribbled the ball. So I got to be careful with that. Okay, my fault.
There's definitely numbers for dribbles.
If you dribble in the air out the ball, and you pass it to somebody when the shot clock is running down, and they got somebody closing out on them, and they got their options are so limited. You're a grenade launcher.
You got me on that, Maul.
I can't wait to get back to these games so we can count. See, we're gonna have little things that we're doing while we're watching the Dallas Mavericks. We'll have an over and under for Luka's grenade launching. I can't wait to count how many times Luka
got me on that one, Mars.
I don't gotta go to that. I could just watch and see, like, bro, what is he supposed to do?
No, the numbers matter. No, Ox, we're not doing that.
Numbers matter. That's
the analytics matter. So we're not gonna leave that out.
The numbers can matter all they want. That's not the point. The point is, if I'm dribbling the ball and I'm giving the ball to my guys in bad situations where the shot clock is depleted and somebody's closing out on them and their options are limited, I'm a grenade launcher. I don't care how many times you do it again. You're a grenade launcher.
All right, y'all. So I gotta ask now, how far do the Mavericks go in the playoffs? And I want a ceiling and a floor for the Mavericks as well.
I think their ceiling is back to. I think their ceiling is back to the NBA Finals. I think their floor is the first round exit. I think that they make the playoffs, but they could find themselves in a first round matchup with like Memphis or somebody like that, and they could see themselves in trouble. They could get bounced. That could happen.
Mars?
I think their ceiling is the finals. It's going to be similar to what I said last year. If they could lose in round 1, they could go to the finals. The West is all about matchups. If they go up against the team that I don't view as a favorable matchup against them in round 1, because this is a 4-5 or it's a 3-6, they can lose. But if they avoid said team and that team loses to someone else who's a bad matchup for them, then they can go all the way to the finals. However, whichever way I slice it, I see them losing to Boston. So I think most teams out. I think every team out West, I'm going to say, I think their ceiling is the finals because I don't see a team beating Boston. But maybe Boston won't make the finals. So
that could happen too.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it, but it could happen.
Me neither, but that could happen. That could happen.
I still think the ceiling is the finals. Yeah, I'd say the ceiling is the NBA Finals. Maybe a championship. You know what? Why not? I'll say it. I think the ceiling is an NBA championship. The floor is first round exit.
Before you go, Ox, MP13 just sent through a $19.99 super chat. He said, but if that is their intended offense, is it really something that you can blame Luka for? ? Because there's not a lot of players on that team who can create their own shot efficiently enough to justify giving them those touches.
Which goes back to my original point.
If you got players that can't create their own shots, that's not how you create shots for them. You got to get the ball moving. You have to get the offense moving. Basketball is really simple like that. Like if this guy doesn't have the tween package, then he's supposed to set off ball screens, catch the ball on the move. That's how you get your guys open. You don't create shots by sitting them in corners and dribbling the air out the ball. That's just not how it works.
Ox, that's what plays are designed for. to get people in areas where they can score at.
Ron, you're not designing plays for me to get shots off with 3 seconds on the shot clock. You're not designing plays for me to get shots with 4 and 5 seconds on the shot clock. You're not doing that. No, you're designing plays for me to get shots within the flow of the offense. That's how you're designing shots.
Like, for the most part, when you have second, third, and whatever options on the team, usually the Mavericks are an exception because they got Luka and Kyrie. Usually, like, when you have those other players, you don't just draw up an isolation for them. It's few teams in the league that have a luxury of having 2 or 3 guys that can just, hey, spread out the floor. I got a bucket. And even then, like, isolation offense is very inefficient. Even with those top tier guys, they tend to get bad shots. To be fadeaway shots, long threes, and stuff like that. You usually have to run a play to get a good shot.
So why? So if it's a bad shot, why can't I say it's a bad shot? What's wrong? What's wrong with me just saying, "Oh, that's a bad shot"? That's you're hating on Luka because
you can call a bad shot a bad shot. What teams run like good offense the most in the NBA?
What teams run good offense?
I want to start by saying NBA offense is
going with
but for like how Ox was talking about the motion, the off-ball screen, getting guys who can't create for themselves open.
I think Miami runs damn good offense. I think Boston runs good offense. Let's see who else.
I like Golden State too.
Miami was second in the league in late clock shots.
They run good offense. And now remember, Mars. Okay, since you brought that up, when you run good offense, you make the defense work. It's not one pass, one shot. You keep the defense on their heels. The ball is moving, so that means that the shot clock is going to run down. Now, does that mean that every shot we get is 2 or 3 seconds with the shot left on the shot clock? No, but there's going to be times because you run offense like that. Because you run offense like that, you're going to get the shot clock late because you want to make the defense work. That doesn't mean that the offense
correlation between pace and late shot attempts, which is why the teams that took the 2 most were the slowest teams in the NBA, the Knicks and the Heat. When your team plays slow, you're going to take more late shot clock attempts. That doesn't like that was my point.
Right.
Good offense, like there's many ways to, as Ox would say, many ways to skin a cat. Some teams run that heavy motion. Some teams run heavy pick and roll. Some teams run heavy isolation. Like there's a bunch of different ways for teams to generate good looks. At the end of the day, teams want to. Every team, their goal in today's game is how can we get layups, how can we get to the free throw line, and how can we generate wide open threes. That's every team's end goal. If we're going to be honest, like however they do it, the Warriors will do it with their off ball action. The Heat will do it with their delay action and bam at the top and all. The Nuggets will do it with flex offense and post ups, and every team has the same goals
too. Yes,
but they're going to do it different ways. Dallas do it the way they do it, and respectfully, it works. Their offense is always really good, especially when Luka's on the floor. But when we talk about late shot clock attempts or grenades or however you want to determine it, the teams that shoot the most are the slowest teams in the league. The Knicks, the Heat, Philly, heavy isolation teams like Philly and the Clippers. Like, those are the teams that shoot the most. You're a heavy isolation team, so you have a lot of late shot clock because isolation will take time off the clock. So the Clippers with Kawhi and James Harden, Philly with Joel Embiid, or you play really slow like the Knicks and the Heat. Like, it's not the Mavericks don't play in any of those boxes. So they actually took the least amount of late shot clock attempts in the NBA this year. That's something I didn't even know. And you know who the other grenade launcher, the Hawks, second least. So the 2 grenade launchers, apparently, the least amount of late shot clock attempts in the NBA for their teams. And they took the most amount of grenades on their teams. So I don't know how this has managed to happen.
That boy good.
I don't know how that managed to happen.
That boy real good.
The numbers matter. I won't argue. And I didn't, to be honest with you, like how do you combat that when you have a stat as opposed to when I'm watching the game and I'm watching Luka get downhill, I'm watching Luka pound the basketball. I'm watching Trae Young pound the basketball and take bad shots late in the shot clock. I'm watching these guys. Now there's a stat for how many times we have guys shoot late clock shots. Mars, I can't argue that. I won't.
Maybe he'll start launching grenades next year.
I don't know. You got me, brother. It sounds like there's a lot. It sounds like there's numbers for almost everything.
Yeah, because people have been saying almost anything for 20 years. So people just decided to make numbers to track these things. There's been tracking data for the last 10 years now. So if there's something that normally people would just track with their eyes, someone's probably calculating it. Distance covered is something that people used to just be like, oh, this guy, Reggie Miller, he runs around a lot. Now they have distance. They have distance data, miles traveling. Yep. So like we can actually see who's covering the most distance in the NBA. Like all of those things, like screen assists. This guy's a really good screener. Now they have screen assists. Like,
right.
If anything, if it's been spoken about before, people have probably found a stat to actually measure it so that they have something tangible to go to.
I like the numbers too. I'm not one of these people that's against the numbers because the numbers matter. I'm not one of these people that I only go with the numbers until it. I don't go with the numbers until it benefits me. No, I care about efficiency. I care about all of that sort of stuff. I just didn't know that you had a number. You could track the number for how much a guy shoots at the end of the shot clock. That's a pretty big deal. All
right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get a sneak preview of what Klay Thompson's going to look like in a Dallas Maverick uniform.
Mm-hmm.
We see him rocking at 31. And then we're going to get some behind-the-scenes footage as well. See Kyrie in the back.
That shit look weird, man. This dude got on a Dallas Mavericks jersey. That shit just looks weird. I'm just for the last, 13 years, I've seen this dude with the Golden State Warriors. He just looks weird in the Dallas Mavericks uniform. It's going to take some getting used to. It's going to be one of those. That's what I'm saying. It's one of those things where it's not that you forget it, but when you see it, it's like, oh shit, Klay Thompson played for the Mavs. It's not that I forgot. It's like, oh, he does play for the Mavs. And that's kind of what this is like.
Hey, you guys can hear this, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Sneak peek
number
of the
31 looks hideous on him, by the way, but that's just because he's number 11 in my eyes.
He should have went in there and demanded number 11.
Nah, he said a lot of I think it was something about when Jason Terry went to the Mavs, he wore 31.
Yeah,
that makes sense then.
Yeah, it makes it. He and his Reggie Miller arc. That's what he ran.
Mars, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Grande, that's not what I said. I did not say that I hate effective field goal percentage. I'm not a true shooting guy. That's what I am. I am not a true shoot field goal because I know how those numbers can be skewed. Because I've seen guys go 8 for 28 and go 13 for 14 from the stripe. I'm not a fan of that. So if you're going to talk about me, Grande, get your story straight.
Why would you not care that someone goes 13 for 14 from the line?
It's not that I don't care. It's just that the numbers can be skewed.
How's that skewed?
Looks different. Because if I go 8, because it makes your numbers look different. If I'm going 8 for 28, but then I go 13 for 14 from the stripe, and then now my true shooting percentage goes up because I went 13 for 14 from the stripe. I was terrible from the floor, but it makes it look like I was a lot better than I was. No, I wasn't. I was 6 for 20.
It's just saying all your points count. That's what it's saying. You go 8 for 28. Let's assume you go 8 for 28. We're playing in the 70s, right? With no threes. How many points is that? That's 16 points.
That's 16
points. Plus the free throws. So you've ended up with 29 points.
Correct.
But you've ended up having to take 28 shots plus 7 trips to the line, 35 shots. That's still not efficient. That would come down to 42% true shooting. That's not good. That's horrible. It's just, it acknowledges the fact that free throws count as points. Now, I don't think anyone ever, besides maybe James Harden, in games he'll go 5 for 20, but also go 23 for 25 from the line, has ever been efficient with just straight free throws. But it just factors in the fact that free throws are points. Well, yeah, of course it's going to go up because your point total went up because you scored free throws. Yeah. If you score free throws, factually, free throws are the most efficient shot in basketball.
Sure, they are. Nobody's bothering.
The average is 75%. So you draw a foul, on average, you're getting 1.5 points per possession.
Sure.
So it just factors that into your efficiency. If you go 0 for 6, but you go 11 for 11 from the line, you scored 11 points on about 11 shots. That's not good, but it's about a 50% true shooting. The issue I have with true shooting is
I don't think it's bad, but
the issue I have is on a game-by-game basis, I don't think it's particularly accurate. Over the course of a season, I think it's accurate, but on a game-by-game basis, because technically true shooting is an estimate, because it has a little coefficient for free throws to try and factor in for and-ones and stuff, on a game-by-game basis, it might be off by about 1% or 2%. But over the course of a season, it's pretty accurate to how efficient you are. And it just acknowledges that, hey, you get to the line 12 times a game. That's pretty good. even if you shoot 41% from the field, but you get to the line a lot and you shoot a lot of threes, we just weigh them as they should be weighed, which is free throws are more efficient, free threes are more efficient, and then overall 2-point percentage or field goal.
Doesn't that factor in? And I'm learning something here when it comes to true shooting. But doesn't that factor into your overall shooting? So when I go to the free throw line, and again, I'm 8 for 11 from the stripe. But then in the process of me going 8 for 11 from the stripe, I also went 11 for 26 from the floor. I went to the free throw line 8 times. But then my true shooting went up because my scoring went up.
Well,
I'm looking primarily at the 11 for 26. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not really concerned too much with the 8 for 11 because I've always been a guy that, free throws are free. There's no reason why you shouldn't be better at the free throw line. Nobody's bothering me. I go to the free throw line, shoot the basketball. Nobody's bothering me. I'm thinking about if I took 26 shots and I only made 11 of them, that's around 40% or maybe even less than that.
What if all of those shots were threes?
26 shots?
No, all of the 11 makes. You made 11.
I got to believe that. I mean, it depends on what kind of shots they were. Even if they were all threes, because I'm sure they weren't all wide open threes. Not only were they not all wide open threes, when were they in the shot clock? When were they in the flow of the game? How did they affect our offense when you shot these shots? Because just because I make shots does not necessarily mean that they're good shots.
Oh, absolutely. You can make horrible shots. People do that all the time. I'm just asking, do you view that as a different? Player A 11 for 26, 8 for 11 from the line, but all of them were 2-pointers. So he made 11 twos and then he made the 8 free throws. Do you view that?
If Steph Curry went,
do you view that as the same efficiency as 11 for 26, 8 for 11 from the free throw line, but all of his 11 were threes? Do you view them just on paper? Do you view them as the same efficiency?
I don't, and the reason why I don't is because if Steph Curry, for example, if this is a guy like Steph Curry, or if this is a guy like Luke Kennard, okay, this is what I do. This is who I am. As I'm primarily a long ball shooter. I'll shoot twos, right? I'll shoot twos. I'll get layups, but for the most part, my game is behind the long ball line. So if I ended up shooting 26 shots and the 11 shots that I made were threes, well, that's essentially who I am. Now, if I'm taking 26 shots and my game is primarily in the mid range, if I'm playing 15 to 17 feet, if I'm playing 18, 19 feet, or if I also play in the mid post and I'm getting around the rim, then that's different.
Yeah, because that's naturally 2-pointers are just less efficient shots, especially if they're not layups. You take mid-range jumpers a lot. So the 2000s, which is the most inefficient era ever, it's because the rule changes and removing illegal defense, but still having the lack of floor spacing is today. The shots that were the easiest to generate were the isolation pull-up mid-range shot, which is factually the most inefficient shot in the game. So, like, when you look at true shooting for them, like them having like a T-Mac having a game where he's 8 for 24 is different than Steph having a game where he's 8 for 24, because T-Mac probably did it with 7 twos and 1 3, whereas Steph probably did it with 6 threes and 2 twos.
Right. So
he's just naturally going to be more efficient just based on the shots he takes. But that's why you got to do it relative to the time and understand the error efficiencies.
I know you got to read the super chat, Ron. I know you got to read.
Yeah, 11 3, the same 11 for 26 real quick. 11 for 26 on all threes plus the 8 for 11 from the line. That's like 66% true shooting.
Right.
11 for 26 on all twos and 8 for 11 from the line. It's like 48% true shooting.
The reason why I think, keep going, Moss. Keep going.
So it's just threes are going to be weighed as 50% more than twos, which they are. And free throws are going to be weighed as more than twos and threes in terms of how efficient they are. So you make free throws, that's good. You make threes, that's good. You miss twos, that's less bad, especially when you make a lot of threes and free throws, which is why James Harden in true shooting looks a lot better than he does on raw field goal percentage, because he got a lot of free throws and he got a lot of threes. Sure. So it's just understanding what efficiency means versus accuracy, and then equating it to the proper era and understanding that someone in the 2000s isn't going to be as rawly efficient as someone today, but you can still be more efficient relative to your time because the overall league was less efficient. It's just it's a lot of numbers.
Well, like I said, when you talk about Steph Curry and Tracy McGrady, I would think that it would be more efficient for Steph Curry off the strength that Steph Curry is primarily a long ball shooter. Tracy McGrady was shooting twos. That's where he's the most effective, in the 15-foot area, in the 12-foot area. So if he goes 2 for 8, if he goes 4 for 14, clearly he's less efficient than Steph Curry, because Steph Curry making 11 threes, that's his game. he's better at his game than you were at your game that night.
And the true shooting will reflect that.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Arch 3, not Arch, the original Arch, not Arch 2, not Arch Prime, and apparently there's an Arch 4 somewhere out there. But Arch 3 sent through $100 super chat. And Arch 3 said, OG, I'm a fan, but damn. Let that bias out of your heart. Each time it's Luka or Kawhi, you can feel the negative energy ooze.
Can we discuss this for really quickly, Ron? So, number one, who do I think the best scorer is in the game?
Luka.
I think it's Luka. I don't think that there's anybody in the game who scores easily. Number two, do you guys know what bias means? The definition of bias is to unfairly judge someone. When I talk about Luka as one of the worst defenders, it's going off of what I've seen from Luka. I've seen Luka actually play defense, and then I've seen Luka give zero defensive effort. I'm judging him off of what I've seen from him. That's not being unfair. When I see Kawhi Leonard, who's missed the playoffs 4 times in the last 5 years, who has one of the best mid-range games that I've ever seen, who I acknowledge that, who's one of the best scorers that I've seen, and I acknowledge that, but he's made of glass. That's the problem with him. That's not unfairly judging Kawhi Leonard. I'm going off what I've seen. He's broken down more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times. I've seen that, and that's what I'm going off of. That's not a bias. A bias is I got a guy, and I got another guy, and this thing is close, I'm going with my guy. That's what that is. That's a bias. But if I'm judging a guy based on what I've seen and it's fact, it's not something that I'm making up, where I've seen Luka play defense sparingly and I actually seen him get in the stance and slow a guy down and then not give effort for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trips, that's not unfairly judging him. That's who he is.
I think it's unfair that you would call him the worst defender in the league because he can be better on defense. I think that's unfair. I think judging someone when you call someone the worst in the NBA at something, I don't think it should be relative to what they're capable of. It should be relative to the rest of the NBA. If let's say, for example, I'm in the NBA.
Sure.
You guys have seen me on a basketball court. Let's say I'm in the NBA. I would obviously be the worst defender in the NBA. No matter how hard I tried. I would be a worse defender than Luka Doncic, Trae Young, Tyrese Halliburton. Even if I gave 100% effort. If Luka gives no effort, and we've seen him, the blow-by percentage that everyone loves to go to, or Luka not trying, all of those things, he still would be a more valuable, more impactful defender than me. I think it's unfair to say Luka is a worse defender than me because of the fact that I try and he doesn't. Even if I'm achieving at the maximum of my capability, if the maximum of my capability is just worse than someone not trying, I'm still worse than them. I don't think you should just reward effort and say he's better than this guy because he's trying to be better, even if he's just physically not better than him. So, I don't know offensive players who are good without trying. But if he's better than you on offense and you're trying really hard, you're coming off these screens really aggressive and you're taking these shots, you're trying to get on balance, you're trying to stay in rhythm, but you just miss them all the time. You're not better than me on offense just because I can get 30 without trying. It's just... I think you're just as good as your impact.
But with that being said, relative to who Luka is compared to, relative to who he's compared to in terms of his level of play, with him being one of the best players in the game, with him being one of the 5, 10 best players in the game, relative to that, he's the worst in the league. Now, is he the worst
defender of the top 10 players in the league?
100%.
But that doesn't make him the worst defender in the league.
Now that's fair enough. I might have gone a little bit far with that because I think that I
over exaggeration. I'm prone to do that too.
I might have gone a little bit far with that, but he frustrates me with his effort more than anything. That's why I have such a difficult time handling him as a defender. That's why I see him when I think about worst defenders, and I think about guys like Damian Lillard. Is he a worse defender than Damian Lillard? When I think about his effort, I just don't think Dame knows how to play defense. I think those two things are not the same. I don't think Dame's effort, it's not that Dame's effort isn't there. I just don't think he knows what he's doing. I think that more than anything. I think
that's worse than not trying.
I just don't think he knows what he's doing. And I think we're at a point in his career where that's just who he is.
Well, yeah, he's 34.
Right.
I don't think he's going to figure it out.
No, he's not going to turn into an all-league defender in another year or so. That's not going to happen. No.
All right, y'all. We got to get on to the next squad. But before we do, I got some good old super chats to get into. Let's go ahead and run them down. Sensei Debo said, please wear it. Wear what?
I don't know.
Mars is wearing his do-rag. He's wearing his hoodie. Looks like everybody's wearing what they're supposed to be wearing. Huh?
Right.
All right. Well, if you're not wearing it, Sensei wants you to wear it, whoever that may be directed to. Sensei also chimed in and said, Ox and chill. Y'all don't watch the Mavs. Stop playing, bro.
So we didn't. So Ox, did you watch the finals? Ox, did you watch the playoffs?
No.
Ox, did you watch any of Dallas during the course of the regular season? Did you do any of that?
Not one game.
Clearly, I didn't see any of the Dallas Mavericks. I didn't watch one of the 82 games that they played this year. I didn't watch one of them. Clearly, I didn't. Fuck it.
MP13 said, I want to hear what players on the Mavs have the skill sets to score off design plays efficiently enough to give them options. We watched the entire offense collapse because those players couldn't hit an above the break three.
Well, Clay now, but I think you guys also play into Boston's hands.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think Dallas played into Boston's hands with the way their offense is structured. If you're able to take away the corner threes and you have one-on-one defenders, because of how Luka reliant and Kyrie reliant you guys are, you end up running out of options. And once Boston were able to take away the lob, the offense started to stagnate. I actually, hot take, I think Dallas's offense was a bigger problem than their defense in the finals. But I don't know how you supplement that. Jason Kidd's just not the most creative offensive mind anyway.
Which is interesting considering as good a player as he was offensively. I would think that he would be better. But maybe you dudes can straighten me out. What the hell does above the break mean?
Not the corner, so the arc. Above,
when it at the long ball out, what the hell does that even mean?
Yeah, it's just basically
it curves right there at the curve. That's the break.
So the wing, the top of the key.
Any three that's not a corner three. That's above the break three.
So does above the break mean when we fast breaking?
No, has nothing to do with fast break.
It's just on the floor.
There's nothing to do with fast break.
Okay, that's where I got screwed up.
It's literally the part. It's literally the part where it's going straight up. Where it breaks.
Okay, now I'm with you. I heard above the break. I'm like, above the break? What the hell? That's a part of the fast break.
You guys gotta remember, Chill was born before the 3-point line. So these
I literally was born before. But guys did shoot the three when I was around, but I never heard the term above the break. That's all.
But to address this, he said the Mavs don't have people with skill sets designed to score efficiently. Once again, like I said, isolation scoring is not all of that efficient. It looks good. It feels good. It feeds us as fans visually, but it's not all of that. Kyrie and Luka doing all that one-on-one shit, it's not as efficient as you guys would think it is. Also, on top of that, it is players that can score in other ways. Daniel Gafford's pretty damn efficient in the post. Right. Am I saying let's draw up 20 post-up plays for Daniel Gafford? No. But Daniel Gafford can go get a bucket down there, especially if you design a play where he can get a switch. But PJ Washington,
Daniel Gafford gets a small on him. They give him the ball.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying though. He's talking about plays to be designed like that. That's a play that can be designed. Daniel Gafford has the skill set to score, not just on smalls, but even on bigs too.
Yeah, he scored on Wemby, and I remember bringing that up.
Yeah. Also, too, PJ Washington is a pretty damn good player. I know that he's playing next to Luka and Kyrie, so we don't get to see him do that. PJ Washington in Charlotte, he scored the ball. And so it's other players that, and God forbid I say somebody like Tim Hardaway Jr. coming off double screens. Like, God forbid me say that, because y'all just hate Tim Hardaway Jr. because he's playing next to Luka. But it's other players too. Najee Marshall, you can set double screens for him. It's dudes over there. Klay Thompson, you can set flare screens, elevator screens, all of that. It's plays that can be drawn up for these other guys. You guys just want to see these guys go isolation. And that just happens. Luka does happen to be one of the exceptions. So they've just became so reliant on Luka to do everything because he can. But it's other guys that can make things happen. And then lastly, you said these players weren't efficient on above the break threes or couldn't hit an above the break three. Well, that's just one part of the basketball floor. Like if we're only looking at above the break threes, then that's probably the problem. Stop shooting so many above the break threes. Let's get some back cuts. Let's get some.
I understand what it is.
You know,
that was what Boston was
Okay,
given.
It's really that simple. I got it. I'm sorry.
That was what Boston was given. Boston was just better than Dallas.
Yeah, but Boston's a bad example too.
Yeah, Boston
that
isn't a representation of how good or bad Dallas is. Like Boston, anyone who wasn't biased prior to that series knew Boston were going to handle it. The issue was so many people just didn't believe in Boston, or were just hating on Jason Tatum or whoever they were hating on, or Joe Mazzulla, or whoever they wanted to hate on, that they were letting that cloud their judgment of that as a basketball series. It was a mismatch. Dallas got to the finals, and anyone who wasn't biased, deluded, or just stuck in their ways knew Dallas were going to get destroyed in that series. It wasn't even close. Anyone knew. Everyone should have known that. They're far superior, and they still are, but they're far superior.
The Tribe One said Mavs got cooked every game in the playoffs on the perimeter. Ops or opponents missed threes. Even the Celtics missed. Dallas relies on their paint protection. L Mavs.
Dallas also give up threes to the shooters they want to shoot. Like Lou Dort, they were comfortable with Lou Dort shooting threes. With the Timberwolves, Gilgeous-Alexander Walker, Kyle Anderson, those type of players, they were comfortable with those guys shooting threes. And the thing about Dallas is they just don't want you shooting in rhythm, catch and shoot threes. But they'll close out hard, make you just take a dribble, sidestep, and shoot the three. They were comfortable with that. So it's just about not all threes are the same. Not all shooters of threes are the same. There's a lot of things that went into it. Dallas's defensive game plan was smart, and they had the guys who they wanted to shoot, and they had the guys who they didn't want to shoot, not shooting or out of rhythm. And they were good defensively in the postseason.
Context Clues has been a member for 6 months. Sent through a members chat saying thoughts on the Lynx versus Sun. I love the defense that was played last night. Also, do you think each series will go 5 games?
They play great defense. That's a great defensive series over there.
No, for real. That's basketball.
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope.
What is her name? Damn, why am I drawing a blank on her name? Plays for Minnesota. The bruiser that they got comes off the bench for Minnesota.
Oh, Allen.
Love her. So all of that rough stuff.
She used to play for the Mystics.
Oh, did she? Okay, yes, yeah. I love her. She comes in the game and makes it clear right from the door. All that rough and rumble type of stuff. You're not doing that with me. Nah.
Yeah.
So
you got to do that with the Sun though. Otherwise, they just gonna push you around.
And that's what
she came in banging with AT.
Yes, and that's what Marina was trying to do. Marina was trying to do that. She got rid of that right from the beginning. Like, nah, y'all ain't doing that around here. No. And Ox, if I gotta watch Williams miss Nafisa in the post one more time when she burying somebody underneath the basket, I'm gonna lose my mind, Ox.
But this
the basketball.
Game 2 wasn't as bad as game 1 though. At least in game 2, Courtney was hitting some shots though.
Okay, she was hitting.
At least she hit some shots.
That's a design play though. They run that specifically to get that switch to get Nafisa on Dejanay. And Nafisa buries her underneath the basket. And I'm watching Williams. I'm thinking to myself, it's a swing through, drop the ball on the floor. It's that simple.
It's really easy, Chill.
It really ain't that difficult, really Ron. It's fire the ball into the post. You see her begging for the ball. She got the small girl on her back. Give her the basketball. I'm sorry I'm getting animated about this, but it makes me nuts when I see it, Ox. I can't handle it. I can't.
My thing is, like, obviously you don't want to throw turnovers and things like that. But if you're going to turn the damn ball over, turn it over trying to get it to your best player when they have a mismatch in the post. I'm good with that every time.
Yes. I'm good with that too.
But at least Courtney did ball, and she was a big reason why they won that game last game. But it's just it's ironic that Nafisa averaged 38 points last series. In this series, she's averaging like 12. Now, granted, it's only 2 games, and last series was only 2 games, but it's just been funny how it switched up. And I mean, a lot of that's due to the Sun just being as good as they are.
Y'all know the Suns, they've been having Minnesota number in Minnesota. Like this is the first time Minnesota beat Connecticut at home. I think 8 games. They usually kick their ass up there. I think that series is going to be really close. I can't call it though. Gotta wait. There's so much defense being played. It's kind of like whoever can get a quick run on offense at certain times.
Yeah, I got to go in 5 games. I do got the Lynx. I think Nafisa is gonna wake up. It's almost inevitable. And I think just her scoring punch. Well, I mean, the Sun can score too, but Nafisa is just the best player in the series. So I think she will eventually lead them to a win in 5 games. Now, the other series.
You think that's over, Ron?
Wrap this up.
Hey,
they're going to go to Vegas and go ahead and close them books.
Hines Allen, when she comes in the game and supplements the physicality, now we got to play basketball. And when we got to play basketball, they just a better basketball team.
Also, Big Ox. So I went back and I looked at that, and I was right. Jackie Young was being denied. Now it was a slim moment where she could have passed the ball. No, she was not. Yo, that is Chelsea Gray. If Chelsea Gray sees her and doesn't, she denied her all the way up to half court. Do you guys want me to put it on the screen? I'm not going to do it because we're going to get demonetized. I'll send it to the chat. She denied. I'm looking at it right now. She's denying her at the logo. Chelsea Gray did not want to throw a turnover. Now she ended up doing it, but
so why did she Chelsea Gray already had her mind made up where she was going.
It wasn't forced to Kelsey. Kelsey was open for a second. The chick from behind, the girl that was guarding Kelsey created separation. It was the defender, the other defender in the corner came and basically got her hand in there. But Kelsey was open for a split second. But so was Jackie was open for a split second. But what's her name?
That's why Chelsea takes the ball out, Ron, because she's the best passer. So when Jackie's
then why she throw the ball away?
Because
I think she already had her mind made up.
When Jackie's open for that split second, that's when the pass supposed to be made. It's not supposed to be an easy pass.
I'm telling you, I'm watching it right now. She came off the screen. She was open for a split second.
And that's all it takes.
All you need is to be open for a split second, Ron.
Okay, and Kelsey was open for a split second too.
No,
the reason. So here's what you guys got to understand. The reason she didn't throw it to Jackie was because she seen Benaya Laney closing out and she didn't want to throw the turnover. Here's also the thing too, though. I'm watching her. She looks at her. She pumps the ball to her. She wanted to throw the ball to her. She didn't because Laney closed the passing lane and was heavily denying. She went to Kelsey. The reason why she threw the ball to Kelsey, even though Kelsey was only open for a split second, was you guys got to understand 1, 2, 3. You guys have been in that position. When it gets to that 3 seconds, you start getting frantic and you like, I got to throw the ball to somebody. So she gave it to Kelsey. But what I'm saying, like, she had to throw that pass. She had no other out. But aside from that, though, Ox, why aren't you keeping the same energy?
What are you talking about?
I mean, your girls is down 0-2 right now. And somebody's not carrying.
I mean, she played good basketball last night. I don't care.
You picking on Kelsey Plum. Hey, pick on your GOAT.
I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just calling. I'm talking about what I'm looking at. I'm not.
Me too.
I'm not here. When people send messages and say this and this. Oh, well, this is your favorite player, so why this and that? Like, watch the game. Watch the game, and you will see. Like, she's playing good. Kelsey's not giving her shit. So you.
So what about in game 1 when Kelsey let him in scoring?
We got.
What about in game 1 when Kelsey let him in scoring? Because you're talking about every bad thing that Kelsey's doing. She carried them in game 1 when Asia couldn't be found and nobody else.
Okay. We're past that. So I'm not going to be.
I'm listening, Ox. Keep going.
I'm cool.
You passed that. Okay, Ox. You passed that part. Okay,
because why that happened? So okay, you're accountable for that. Cool. Right. That doesn't mean in game 2 I'm gonna be like, do you remember what you did in game 1? Do you remember what happened in game 1? It's game 2. Like game 2, Kelsey didn't do shit. So now we're moving on to game 3. We'll see what happens. I'm not gonna be sentimental about. Oh well, you didn't do this in game 1. You didn't do this in like what is that?
I'm just saying Asia can get criticized too.
I don't care.
I'm criticizing her. I'm saying your GOAT has not been showing up. Jalen sent in the group chat yesterday. You got mad at him.
Jalen, I didn't get mad at Jalen. I simply called out the fact that the only reason Jalen said that is because he took the over on her rebounds. She had 7 rebounds. That's
well, why isn't she getting over on the rebounds? Why isn't she getting over on the scoring? Why isn't she getting over in the win column? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
With Breonna Stewart and Jonquil Jones, she's not going to
get the best basketball player that we've ever seen, the best player on the planet. She did that in the third. Okay, chill. I'm not, because we've heard this all season. I heard this last playoffs. I heard this the year before that. Hey, not chill. I've been hearing this. This man has been hyping up Asia.
You know what I mean? She is everything that he's hyping. She is everything that he's hyping.
No, chill. Because this dude, it's been true every single step of the way. He was talking that crazy shit about them last year, and I told him Sabrina and Courtney cannot keep up on the perimeter. That's what won the series last year. We all seen that. Chill. You was on.
Why are we looking in the past? Chill. We passed that. Chill. We passed that. They down on 2 right now. Asia has not been playing the way she played in the season. She was the unanimous MVP in the season. She's not looking like the unanimous MVP in this series. Stewie's outplayed her.
Ox, you was trying to make a point.
Plum outplayed her in game 1. Sabrina Ionescu is clearly outplaying her. She's been the best player in the series. What's going on, Ox? All right, well, we'll see game 3. But y'all, I want to put this on the screen though. We want to go ahead and highlight some of the best things from Media Day. This is Tyrese Maxey with a pretty dope picture. Got the 76ers logo on his face. How we feel about this, chat? Talk to me.
Yeah, that's dope.
This is obviously Bron and Bronny with their patent handshake. That's fire. It's good to see father and son.
I saw that yesterday. I saw that yesterday. I was thinking to myself, I feel like I'm in the Matrix because I had a vision of 2000. Was it 2005 when he made the All-Star team? And his low man, he's rolling the ball out to his low man. It was either 2005 or 2000. No, it was bad. He was like maybe 4 or 5 years old. So maybe 2008 or 2009. He's rolling the ball out to his low man, and now they sitting next to each other on the same team. That's wild as hell. That's super wild.
Zion Williamson ready to pop the ball. I think this is his I have vengeance for everybody in the league face.
I don't know who he's got vengeance for.
I'm excited to see him, man.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of which, this is the team we will get into next. I don't know if we'll have time for the Rockets, but we'll try to make time for him. And then we'll have these guys come up right after the Pelicans.
This look wild as hell right here. Yes, it does.
And then, obviously, Klay Thompson.
I think we understate how cool it is that LeBron and Bronny are on the same team.
That's what I'm saying, Mars. I immediately saw, like, I think it was like the 2008 or 2009 All-Star game, and James had both his boys on the floor, and he was in some sweatpants, and he was just shooting around with them. And this dude is now sitting next to him in a Laker uniform. And I don't know how many guys would say that they would not have their son, if they was playing in the NBA, if you could get your son on a team with you, you wouldn't do it. How many of you would?
I think we go.
If they're good and not going to embarrass me.
Right, exactly.
But I think we got so caught up in the nepotism and is Bronny good enough to actually be in the NBA and all of that. Like, it's just really cool. I'm gonna be honest. It's just like watching them at Media Day. I seen like the videos of like them practicing, him, Bron, and Max Christie. They're shooting threes. Like, I think people got so much disdain for LeBron.
That's exactly what it is.
Or for like the nepotism, which they don't like, whatever. Like, but I think if you don't appreciate how cool that is, I think you're missing out. Like, I genuinely think that's amazing that's been able to happen in the NBA. So.
I'm all for nepotism if you meet the requirements. You know what I'm saying? No problem at all. If somebody that you know, family member, whatever, if they meet the requirements, you should give them the job, 100%. I hope Bronny can produce. I hope Bronny gets better. I hope he becomes a good NBA player. That's all. Mars, I do think a lot of it had to do with that. I think a lot of people just don't think Bronny's good enough. And so that's on the issue, I think. Obviously, there are people that just hate Bron. And if Bronny would have averaged 17, they'd still have something to say about it.
Only reason why he there because his father.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't matter to the Bron haters. To the Bron haters, they're gonna hate regardless. So that didn't matter. But I just hope Bronny gets better. I hope he's good enough. I really do.
MP13 said, "Let me clarify. Boston literally took away the corner three, and none of the Dallas players could hit the above the break threes that they were given. I watched them stop shooting them because they were so bad."
That's why the NBA should get rid of the corner three. You got these fake shooters who live in the corner and people call them shooters. You get rid of the corner three, you realize the real shooters are the only ones who should be shooting threes, not these fake shooters who get to sit closer to the 3-point line and I like they space in the floor. Get rid of the corner three, you're going to see real offense come back. You don't get these bailout corner threes. I'm going to stand on that. You want real offense to come back? You want real defense to come back? Get rid of the corner three. You can't hide these fake offensive players anymore.
All right, y'all. Chat, I'm sorry. I lied. We'll be talking about the Houston Rockets next. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. How do we feel about the Rockets coming into this next season? I need to know right away, where do you guys have them, or how big of an improvement do you have the Rockets making, if at all?
I think we're third in the division. I think we're going to be in the play-in probably, but like a 7-8 play-in, not a 9-10. I think we've got a lot better, but I don't know how much that will reflect in the win column. Ideally, I'd want to see us win 49, 50 games, but I don't know how probable that is. But listening to the guys at Media Day, all of them have said if we don't reach the playoffs, that is a failure. I think that's the right approach. We should be trying to make the playoffs. Hearing Jabari talk about the things that we said he needed to improve on, all of us up here, or just Rockets fans, Ox spoke about it, his ability to get low, to beat guys off the bounce and all of those things. You said when we was watching the workout videos and the scrimmages, you said you pointed that out. That was one thing he emphasized and that he was working on too this offseason. So he's obviously aware of where he needed to get better, which is great. Everyone seemed to have said the right things in terms of how they've improved, how they're trying to win, and all of those things. And then watching like the little scrimmage from opening day of training camp, the energy looked great. Seeing Tyrese and back looked great. Jalen Green looked good. Reed Shepherd out there shooting the hell out of the ball. Amen Thompson being the best athlete in the league. I'm optimistic. That's what I am. I'm optimistic. It's crazy I'm saying I'm optimistic and then I'm saying I think we're going to be a 7 or 8 seed. But like, that's just how good the West is. But I think we're going to be a really tough team to beat, really good team. And there's potential for us to be even better depending on the jumps that guys can potentially take. So I can see the avenue to where we're really, really good. It's going to take a lot from our young players. But I'm optimistic.
How do you feel about Mars? How do you feel about the addition of Thon Maker?
He on a training camp deal. Shout out to him. He not gonna make it like on the team, but he on a training camp deal. I mean, I'm interested to see what he does in preseason. See if a team wants to give him a shot. Not the Rockets, but see if a team wants to give him a shot. We got someone else. I can't remember who we got. It was Thon Maker and some Marquise Noel, I think. So and hopefully a team can give him a shot too. I know he's undersized, but hopefully a team can give him a shot too. But I'm really optimistic. I really like our team. I really like our depth. I really like our coach. I think we're just gonna be better across the board this year.
Okay. Ox, how you feel about the Houston Rockets?
I'm unsure about these youngsters. I don't know. I really don't have I don't know, Ryan.
There is a lot of questions.
It's a shaky team. I have no idea I don't know what to expect from Jalen Green anymore. You know, I've always been really high on him, but it's starting to get to the point where like, all right, Jalen, like I need you to come through now. Fred VanVleet, their lead guard. Yeah, bro. This team could be this team could be anywhere from 6 to 12, bro.
12.
Yeah, it can happen, bro. It can happen, Morris. That can happen, Morris. That's
so only the Spurs, the Jazz, and the Blazers behind us.
Yeah, that's possible.
It is possible.
You know, so it's kind of like I just got to see what they're gonna do. How like who's their first, second option? What type of offense are they gonna be running? Who are they gonna try to ride this year? is their defense going to step up? I think Jabari and Dylan already on their defenses is solid. Y'all are really high on the men. I'm not. You know, I just need to see it. I think they'll probably be in their division. I think it's between them and the Pelicans. Who's going to be the third or fourth? You know what I mean? So we'll see.
You do have Memphis second. You do have Memphis second in the division.
Well, that's those three teams: Memphis, Pelicans, Houston. But I think a healthy Memphis team is better than Houston, though.
I agree.
So yeah, they could be, you know, second, third, or fourth. I'll probably think they'll be fourth in the division, though. Honestly, probably a playing team. I mean, and they're dangerous though. Like they was kicking our ass last year. So you know what I'm saying? They're dangerous. It's one of those teams that you probably don't want to play, but you're confident that you could beat them. I can see them being a playing team, maybe sneaking in the AFC, but I don't think they're going to make too deep of a run this year. But they got a lot of potential on that team. When those youngsters keep getting older, you know what I'm saying? Keep growing, keep learning. They'll be okay. They'll be okay.
All right, chill. Talk to me about the Houston Rockets.
Top 5 seeds.
Memphis, Houston. What y'all dudes told me about Oklahoma City when they made that jump, what y'all dudes told when Ox told me a year ago that he saw Sacramento taking that jump, what's the difference? I think they got a top 10 center in the league right now. With that also being said, Jalen Green is going to be a lot better. I think Jabari Smith is an all-league defender this year. I'm on record saying it. I think he's an all-league. I think he's that good. I think he's an all-league defender. I think their rotation is a lot better than we give them credit for. We got to kill this logic about them being kids. Jalen Green is in a contract year. It's not like Jalen Green is in year 1 or year 2. Jalen Green is in a contract year. Sengun is in a contract year. So with these dudes being in contract years, there's a level of expectation that they're going to have for these guys. And I can't forget the most important part of this. Ime Udoka is going to put the battery in these kids' back. Ime Udoka is going to have these guys on the defensive end more than anything. He's going to have these guys locked in. With a guy like Reed Shepherd, who's able to shoot the long ball the way he is, playing behind a guy like Fred VanVleet and able to learn from him, that offensive system that they have, because I didn't give Jabari Smith enough credit for the scorer that he can be. So with him, Dylan Brooks, Eason, I'm not sold on Thompson, but I am sold on the athlete. That's what I'm sold on. I'm sold on the athlete. And when I see an athlete and as smart as he is, I think we can figure the other stuff out with him. I think we can get the other stuff figured out. I think they're a top 5 seed. I think they're the second best team in this division.
Nice.
Similar to Ox and similar to you. Well, I think all of us up here have a lot of optimism with the Rockets because it's a lot that can go right. Like if everything goes right, I think they could even win the division. I'm not gonna lie to you. If everything goes right, Mars, Jalen Green takes his jump.
Everything doesn't need to go right.
That's more than going right. That's everything going.
I don't think so, Mars.
And then like, everything going wrong for everybody else.
A few. So here's what I'm saying. A few things going right for them is some of the biggest things. Let's talk about the biggest things. And you guys correct me if I'm not even addressing the biggest things. It's obviously Jalen Green playing like how he played in that last stretch of the year, right? Jalen Green becoming one of the more dynamic guards in the NBA. Scoring it very good, shooting it efficiently, and just being Jalen Green. What we expect.
If Jalen Green is that version of Jalen Green for a whole season, you understand that's one of the 4 best shooting guards in the NBA, right?
Yes.
That's everything going perfect.
Right.
That's not going right.
Going perfect,
Ron, what's gonna happen when Ime starts smashing Drea or something? You know
Here we go. See, Ox, we're having a conversation. We're trying to talk right now, Ox. We're trying to be serious right now. What you doing, yo?
Just say like that's possible.
Well, see, that's everything going wrong. I'm just talking about everything.
That's going to go monkey with your anything, Ron. That's going to go monkey with your anything.
It can't control his little head, so you know.
You're smashing my chick. That's throwing a monkey with your anything. We doing everything.
And Ox, we'll get to everything going wrong because I think it's 2 majors for this team, and so like
both of them involve Jalen Green.
Yeah, but Mars, is it ridiculous to say that Jalen Green plays at that level this year?
So the whole year?
Yeah.
Ridiculous? No. Probable? Also no. I wouldn't bet on it, but
what would you say? Like it's a 30% chance?
I would never say it's impossible for someone who's shown that potential to finally reach it. I would never say that's impossible. If you've shown that capability, I think you reaching it is possible.
Right.
But when he's also shown the flaws and the inconsistency he's shown, I can understand why it wouldn't be probable. I can understand why people would be pessimistic on like, he's shown this before, but he's never been able to put it together fully. We're in year 4 now. We're still waiting for him to finally take that jump. I can understand the pessimism, but I'm not going to say it's impossible. But a percentage chance at that level, 20, maybe 20%.
How long was the stretch of him averaging or doing what he did?
It was a month and a half.
It was like about 20 or so games. I want to say.
It was a month and a half. And he looked fantastic. Yes, he did. He looked fantastic.
That's a quarter of the season, damn near. Like,
now here's the question that I have with the 5 that they got, right? Because I'm going VanVleet at the 1, Jalen at the 2, Brooks at the 3, Smith at the 4, Sengun at the 5. All right, that's where I'm going. And then I got Thompson backing up. I got Thompson backing up Brooks. I got Shepherd backing up VanVleet. I got Eason backing up Jalen Green. Then it gets a little bit tricky after that. And when I'm thinking about the rotation guys, right? When I'm thinking, I got.
Have you mentioned Reed Shepherd yet?
I did mention Reed Shepherd, but then I got Cam Whitmore. Yeah. Right? I got Cam Whitmore. So I got 9 guys. Right? I feel like I got
a little deeper than 9.
Now we got Fred at the 1, Jalen at the 2, Dylan at the 3, Bari at the 4, Sengun at the 5.
That's your 5 right there.
Backup point guards is probably going to be Reed, maybe Aaron Holiday, but both of them can play. Backup 2, probably going to be Cam Whitmore, but might be someone else. Then you got Tari Eason, backup 3-4. Cam Whitmore is the other backup 3-4. So wherever he plays 2 through 4.
Sure.
Then you've got Steven Adams. Mm-hmm. Then you've got Jeff Green, and then like the last player in the rotation, or like the first player out the rotation, is probably Jay Sean Tate. But we've got,
you didn't mention him in Thompson yet,
because he just the GOAT.
So we got like, you got 10 guys. You got about 10 because I had 9 guys. So you got 10 guys. Yeah. I feel like
that's 12 though. When you add in a min and Aaron Holiday, who was their backup guard last year.
I'm not a big fan of Aaron. The reason why I'm not a big fan of Aaron Holiday is the same reason why you don't like Darius Garland. I'm not a fan of him. The small guard thing. I think it could be situational with Aaron Holiday in this particular situation. It's not that I don't like small guards, because I do. I just feel like Aaron. I feel like Aaron doesn't provide enough offense for me to have him on the floor, and he's small as a defender, so he can get picked on. That's my problem with him. Now, when we're talking about the rotation, Ime Udoka has shown that he can get the most out of his rotation guys, because I think this is the same thing with when I think about. Who am I thinking about? When I think about Ham, when I think about Darvin Ham, when he sees guys that are in like Taurean Prince, he sees that kind of guy in him. I feel like coaches do that. And I feel like I feel like Ime Udoka, he sees a lot of those guys in him. A lot of those rotation guys in him. And I feel like he can get the most out of them. They got 9, 10 guys. Mars, I hope, I'm not saying that I'm reaching here, and I really think this team's going to be damn good, man. I do. I think this Houston team is going to be dead. And I don't think 6, 7 seed. I think 5, 6. I think that kind of good.
But see,
Chill, they're going to be that good.
I think you guys are just projecting the jump for the wrong person.
Well, see,
I think Jalen Green's going to be better. I'm telling you. I've been trying to tell you guys for a year. It's Amen Thompson. I'm trying to tell you guys so you can be here early before everyone tries to jump on the hype train. Amen Thompson is going to be our best player moving forward. You guys just need to be here before he is, so you guys can just be on the right side. I'm trying to tell you guys, Amen Thompson is our future. He is the guy. Now, Jalen Green can take the jump. I believe he's going to be better this year. He's going to be more efficient. He's going to make better decisions. He looks like he's just going to be a better player. But Amen Thompson is him. Amen Thompson is him. Now, I don't know what you guys don't see, But I'm telling you,
don't say you guys. I'm just.
No,
I'm not as high, but I'm high on the man.
Trade Amen Thompson. Like, what are you talking about? But like,
there's no way Amen Thompson's gonna be your best player, more.
I think I'm higher on Smith than I am Amen Thompson.
I've become higher on Jabari, but it's Amen Thompson.
You guys are very, very nice. Like, you guys have your collection of young talent is ridiculous in terms of Jalen Green. We were just talking about a man. We haven't even gotten into Cam. We haven't even gotten Cam Whitmore yet, chill. And Cam Whitmore is a baller.
Sengun, our actual best player so far. Sengun.
We haven't really even talked about Dylan Brooks that much either. I know he's not a young player, but we haven't necessarily talked about him just being there and what he provides as well. You guys have a very good team. But it's just like my thing is, so I was saying Jalen Green got to take that step forward. I think Sengun has to, step it up a little bit more too. In terms of if he is you guys' number one option, just gotta, provide on a consistent number one option basis from night to night. But then also too, like my biggest thing is, and we've mentioned it, Chill. You said they have 9, 10. I said 11, 12 guys. How does he play with that rotation? I think that's going to be key. What guy? Because you have to bench somebody. So what guys are you
performing? That's how Ime does
it.
It's not you deserve this starting spot because of your name. He already said.
And that's
yesterday.
That's
accountability.
That's
anyone can get benched. Anyone can get taken out the team if you're not performing on game-to-game basis. If Sengun ain't cutting it, he's gonna play Steven Adams. If Jalen Green ain't cutting it, he's gonna play Reed Shepherd, Tyrese, Amen Thompson, whoever. If Amen Thompson is performing, he's gonna take Dylan Brooks out the lineup. Whoever's playing well is going to play, and I think that's a great problem to have. And it's not even a problem when everyone's aware of it. It's not gonna come by surprise for anyone. If Jalen Green isn't performing, he knows what's gonna happen. He went through it last year. If Jabari's not performing, he knows what's gonna happen. He went through it last year. Reed Shepherd came off the bench at Kentucky last year. He knows. And that wasn't because of his ability. That was because some people just got given that promise. But like he's used to that. Reed Shepherd has said he's happy to play whatever role, whether that's him coming off the bench and helping the team, or whether that's him clapping on the bench and getting guys water. He's willing to do whatever it takes. Tyrese is someone who has spoke about the bench unit being the best in the league in his opinion. So he's already coming in expecting that role to be his. Like everyone seems to be aware of what they're going to be this season, and no one is coming in expecting things to be handed to them. You have that alongside Ime Udoka. I think that's a match made in heaven. Plus, I think 25 and under, 24 and under, however you want to do it. I think we have the best young core in the NBA.
Ron, you are the one who just mentioned it. In the words of the great Marlo Stansfield, this sounds like one of them good problems.
Yeah, no, for real.
This sounds like and you're gonna get the best out of guys. Chuck Daly did it when he was with the Bad Boy Pistons. He had 10, 11 guys. Roll the ball out, earn your minutes, earn your run. Now, I think that, when you're dealing with the NBA and you're dealing with contracts and you're dealing with money and guys, I can't have Fred VanVleet on the bench and he's making $40 million. That looks a little tricky. However, he does not want to sit on the bench neither. He wants to play. So because he wants to play, he is going to earn his minutes. 100% he is. Just like Eason is going to earn his minutes. Just like Jabari Smith is going to earn his minutes. This is going to make these guys so much better because the competition level is going to be higher. These guys are going to get better from a team standpoint. Now, sure, they're going to be competing against each other, but with them doing that, this team, I think sky's the limit, man.
Did you see the scrimmage they were doing? Like they were doing like a 3-team 4-on-4-on-4. You see the energy they were playing with, and like it was quick. Like it was up tempo. You score, you're instantly on defense, and then the other team comes in straight away. So like there's no cool down period. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to the competitiveness, the energy. And it's not like there's just a team of 4 stars. It's not like you're just seeing Jalen, Sengun, Jabari, and Fred. No, it was Jalen with like 3 other bench players, Sengun and Fred with 2 other bench players, etc. And it was like just constant basketball. Like everyone's competing. The energy is great. The competition is great.
I love this team.
I can see the world.
I do too.
I can see the world in which we're a high seed. I just think it's very optimistic. I think the safe option is 7 or 8. So I'm going with the safe option. I don't want to overstate us and then be disappointed when we're a 7 or 8 seed. I think 7 or 8 is the safe bet. And we can even finish out the play-in if everything goes wrong. But I'm just hoping that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and that's I know for a fact that I ain't the only one up here that's hungry. So you ain't gonna bring no food for nobody else. I'm so sick of this dude, Ron.
Nah, chill. I was doing so bad yesterday. I was sick. I can eat nothing, so I'm starving.
My man sound like you're a little bit under the weather, so I'm gonna give you a pass on that right now. Keep them cooties over there.
I ain't eating nothing today. I gotta eat something.
Oh, you don't want how you passing out on camera. Don't do that, yo.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
But Morris, what you was saying is
my son's cereal right now. He's gonna be pissed with it.
That ain't for you, Ox. That's my cereal.
So I bought it. So
go get your own then. That wasn't for you. Damn, Pops, put my cereal down. Go get your
I remember one time in high school. So anyways, I ended up eating all my little brother's cereal one time. Me and one of my friends, and he was pissed. He was crying.
I'm gonna fight this. I'm gonna fight my brother. I come home, I swear, if my food ain't there, me and this dude gonna get into a fight. No doubt about it. But I'm sorry, Ron, if I interrupted you, man.
No, I was just saying that's why I got the Rockets as 4th in the division.
Oh, the division?
Yeah, because it's just like it's hard for me to envision everything going right for them to be better than the Grizzlies, even though I think they got more talent than the Grizzlies. Talent doesn't necessarily pan out to everything. And then also, too, on top of that, I don't know who's going to perform and who's not going to perform. It's just a bunch of question marks. I'm eager to see. I know I mentioned this earlier. I'm eager to see what lineups does he actually roll out there.
I just don't see it with New Orleans. That's why I don't see 4th. But I can see a world in which we come 4th. I could see it.
I don't think you guys should come 4th, but it's just hard for me to put you guys over any of those other 3 teams.
Well, Mars, let me ask you this. So on opening night, you guys got Charlotte. Dub, L.
We should win that. We should come out 1-0.
2 nights later, Memphis is in town.
I've already said I think Memphis lose to us. So, yeah, I think we're going to win that game.
Okay, so 2-0. So the next night, Wemby, you got to go see Wemby.
I think we beat them.
And then 2 nights after that, you're still in San Antonio. You see Wemby again.
4-0.
Okay. So you got 3 days off, and then you got to go see Luka.
Nah. Luka be bending us over. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know what it is about Dallas and Houston because
Ron, that's how I be reacting when it be happening.
He gives y'all he straight gives y'all the business.
It's ridiculous, Ron. It's ridiculous.
He 100% gives y'all the business. Okay, so then you got Steph Curry coming into town on that Saturday. I think
there's no Klay Thompson over. There's no Klay Thompson there no more because Klay Thompson turned into prime Klay when he play us. So yeah, no Klay. Oh my God, Dallas have Klay. Oh, we're getting good. Oh my God.
Luka, hey, Morris, I feel you on that, Morris. I feel you on that.
Luka and Klay.
Golden State will never beat us again.
That Dallas game is gonna be bad. Steph still give us work, but Klay, we're gonna lose by 40 to Dallas, and that might just ruin us. But I'm gonna pick us to beat Golden State, so I think that's 5-1.
So that's 5-1. Then you got the Knicks coming in town 2 days later.
Because we robbed the Knicks last year, so they're gonna come in with a vengeance because of that late foul call and Aaron Holiday.
100% y'all robbed them. No doubt.
So they're gonna come in with a vengeance. So we losing that one. That's 5-2.
Okay. 5-2. So you got Wemby again 2 nights later in your building.
Damn, we played them a lot to start the season. Wait, so
you got Wemby 2 nights later. You had the Knicks on Monday, 2 nights
later. I think we dropped 1 to the Spurs, if I'm honest. So one of those 3 games we're going to drop. So I'll say we're 5-3. I think we're going to drop 1 of them.
And then 2 nights after that, you got to go see Shea.
I've seen us cook OKC. I don't think we beat OKC. 5-4.
Okay, 5-4, and then you got to go to Detroit.
6-4.
I think y'all handle them. So coming out the box, you win 60% of your games. Coming right out the box, right? So I like what that looks like early, and then it could get even better because the next night after that, you got Washington in town.
Detroit and Washington? Nice.
Yes, you should beat them, right?
Yeah.
2 nights later, you got James Harden in town.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, and Leonard.
We don't know if Kawhi gonna be in town.
We don't know. He might play because you got him back to back, Mars. You got him Wednesday and Friday.
We play well against the Clippers. Like we lost to the Clippers on a James Harden 4-point play.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were beating the Clippers and ended up blowing the lead in the 4th. Like we compete well against the Clippers, and that was last year. So I think we're gonna split. I think we're gonna split with the Clippers. So that'll be 8-5.
Yep. So then on that Sunday, you got the Bulls.
9-5.
And then that next night, you got to go see Giannis.
9-6.
Then you got Halliburton on Wednesday.
Come on, Mars. You know what to do.
We played well against the Pacers too.
Yes, you do. Yes,
that's a fast-paced game. Both teams love that style. So that can go either way depending on who's hotter from three.
They got Pascal now, though, Mars.
I'm gonna give it to the Pacers because I just think they're more consistent 3-point shooting team. I'm gonna give it to the Pacers.
So then you got
then we got the Blazers back to back.
You should beat them.
Yep.
And then you got Minnesota coming to town on that Tuesday.
We can't beat the Timberwolves. They're just.
And then you got Philly.
Nah, I don't think we got Philly.
So in those 20 games, what am I looking at? That sounds like 14 wins.
I think so. Some 14, 13 around there.
Yeah, it sounds like 14 wins. So I'm 14-6 to start the season. I love which way this is going. And so we clear 14 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's on pace for 50 plus wins. That's on pace for 50 plus wins. That's bar injury.
That's 57 wins. That's a 57 win pace. So, but it will get. I can see a world in which we win 50 plus games, but I can see a world where 50 plus games is still the 8 seed. Like, that's the problem. The West is just ridiculous. So even if I think we do get better in the win department by 9 wins, that still might be the 8 seed. And improving by 9 games when you already won 41 the year before, that's a major improvement. So
it is. Yeah.
The optimistic side is we take the OKC jump where we go from 40 wins to 56, 57 wins. The pessimistic is where we stay around the same in terms of win total. So we're at 43 wins maybe this year. And then like the neutral one, which is where I'm probably about, is like 47, 48 wins. And we're a 7 seed. That's probably where I'm at with us, 47 wins. But I'll take it. I'll take 47. 47 to 35, I'll take that.
And I can legitimately see you guys going 500 again too. I don't think it happens, but
no, Ron, the reason why you saying that is because you scared, Ron. You got your chips. Push the chips to the front of the table.
This is what I'm saying though. I'm the Houston Rockets aren't the team that I'm pushing my chips in. So I'm saying like I can see the future.
Not the Spurs. You're not pushing your chips on the Spurs.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
No.
Yes, he is, Mars. That's
not.
That's
then we can move on.
On.
We need to talk about this.
Yeah, that's what he got his money on. Ron got a stack of chips in front of him this high. These his cards. He's going.
That's wild.
Like I said, with this team, though, I can see anywhere from I'm with Ox, anywhere from 2 to 4. But even if they got 1, I wouldn't be surprised. It would just mean that once again everything went perfectly. Jalen Green exploded. Sengun was an all-star. Reed Shepherd, Tari, and Cam Whitmore had breakout years. Amin Thompson became who Mars said he was supposed to be. He's their starting point guard now. You know that's if everything goes perfectly. Ime Udoka is Ime Udoka, and he coaches his ass off. But I ultimately I got them as the 4th.
Jalen Green takes that jump into the Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards group. We're a 50 win.
I'm expecting that though.
He's small forwards. He's a small forward.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So like he takes that jump into the top 4 shooting guards in the league. We're a 50 win team.
Mars, here's my thing with Jalen Green.
You got the Mavericks 3rd in the division.
Yep.
I
don't think this.
Good job, Chill. Me too.
I don't think this thing is going to be what you guys think it is.
And not a different number 1.
Not because Dallas isn't going to be good. I just think the West is going to be a nightmare. I said it already. I think that we're looking at 2013. I think we're looking at 2012, 2013 Western Conference, where it could take 50 wins to get in the playoffs. It could very well, like 51 wins gets you you could be separated from 2 to 7 by like 2 games. That could happen.
I can see that.
All right. I do want to play this right quick. Some snippets from opening day. You guys let me know if you can hear this. Y'all can hear that?
Back up here. Yeah. We back.
I hear
hey, how you?
Give it everything that we have.
I don't know why it's not playing.
Yeah, I just didn't.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. We back.
Yes, we are.
Hey, how are you?
Back in effect.
We're gonna come out every night. We're gonna fight. We're gonna give it everything that we have, with the talent, with the youth, with the speed and the athleticism that we have. We're gonna play a little fast. We're gonna fly around. We're gonna switch on defense. We're just gonna be a tough night out, no matter who that we're playing against.
For him, I think he's the guy that pretty much checks every box. If anything happens injury-wise, you can plug him into any position. And, I think he really learned to play off the ball some last year, which will only benefit him and our team going forward. But he's a guy that's great with the ball in his hands, great with the pace and the things that he does naturally. But like I said, teaching him that, it was due to necessity. He goes out and you can plug him into the 4 or 5 spot with Jabari out there. And, him being injured early, Aaron and Fred and some of those guys and Jalen were handling a lot more by the time he came back. And so for us, the flexibility and his versatility is great. Envision him being able to do everything, play on and off the ball, impact the game, obviously defensively and offensively in different ways. But the pace that he plays with and getting out in the open court is great when he has the ball off a rebound. But he also played in the dunker, and he's a great offensive rebounder. He's a great finisher around the rim, and he found the pocket and saw how good he did there once he learned to.
I love this guy. I love this guy, yo.
That's basically him saying, Amenton's going to be our best player.
I love this guy. I do. Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. We are going to move on to the next team, which happens to be the New Orleans Pelicans. Big Ox, I'm going to let you kick it off since last year this was your boogeyman, but is this your boogeyman this year? How do you feel about the Pelicans, this iteration of them?
No, without all that weight in the middle, no more J-Val. I think they're a lot less scary this year. The Pelicans, they'll probably it's between them, Memphis, and Houston in this division, 2, 3, 4. You know what? Let me put a little bit more respect on San Antonio, though. We'll get to that. But I just don't feel like the Pelicans are complete until they fill that 5-man spot. I don't ever want to see Zion at the 5 minutes. I never want to see that.
At the 5?
I never want to see that. I never want to see Zion at the 5. Also, Chill, contrary to what you were saying, I never want to see Zion at the 1 either.
Why not?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
What's your problem with it? Hold on, Ox. Let's stay right here. What's your issue with a guy being able to get downhill? Nobody can stay in front of him. Very much like what we talked about with Julius Randle, and he can pass and create shots for other people because the defense collapses.
Only time I want Zion with the ball coming up the floor is if it's in a transition. If he gets a long rebound, he gets it off the glass and goes. You know what I'm saying? Or if he just happens to be the closest one to the rebound and it's just a quick outlet and nobody stops the ball. I want to see that. I don't want Zion being the decision maker on my team personally.
How would you use him in the half court?
In the half court, it would be, off like dribble handoff situations, catching the ball in the mid post, catching the ball at the free throw line, opening up and going to work there. Potential I'm not saying he's a bad passer, so I'm saying if he were to come catch the ball in the at the not the free throw line, but maybe right there at the arc, right there, catch the ball, open up, and that's a bad matchup. It's hard to stay in front of him. He's so strong. He could go kick it to the corners, whether that's Trey Murphy on this side or whether that's BI or CJ or whatever. I don't want him playing point guard for me. I think the Pelicans have too many question marks for me to be high on them right now. I think this is a very confusing division. I think besides the Mavericks, it's just a confusing division. You know what I'm saying? I've never been this confused in my life. You know like we're talking about this division. I can't put a pin on this division right now. And the Pelicans are maybe one of the biggest question marks right now. And if they don't get if they don't get somebody to come fill in that 5-man position, they're not going to even make the play-in.
I think we left out something.
I'm very high on DeJounte Murray, though. I am very high on DeJounte Murray.
And I think we left out, like, Ox, you talked about, how soft they are. And they need to get stronger at the 5 spot. And as good as DeJounte is, and again, I like Zion as a playmaker in the half court. I love Zion as a playmaker in the half court. But I think that the thing we also left out was, their team was built a lot on dirty work. So to lose Nance, to lose Marshall, to lose Dyson Daniels, I mean, that's a big deal for that crew. You guys already know how I feel about Herb Jones. I think he's one of the best perimeter defenders in the game, if not the best. He's in the same conversation with Caruso. He's in the same conversation with Drew Holiday. He's in the same conversation with Kawhi Leonard. Yes, I think he's up there with those guys. But with that being said, when you don't have anybody to supplement that, and you're not going to be able, don't get me wrong, you're not going to be able to replace that with just one guy. You replace that with a bunch of different guys. But with these guys, that was their mantra. Now you also got CJ, who I've always thought was better off the basketball than he is on the ball. So now you got CJ, who's gotten older.
I think he's the guy that, pretty
much. Now you. I'm sorry, that wasn't me. But anyway, now you got a guy in CJ who's better off the ball than he is on the ball. Plus, you got to get guys creating shots for both BI, CJ, and because Najee Marshall is gone, and you don't have a 5-man. And the West is going to be a nightmare. I think New Orleans is a 43-win team this year, and I don't think 43 wins is nearly enough to get in the playoffs. I don't.
Mars?
There's many reasons to be pessimistic, in my opinion. The center position is the one that I think most people are aware of and most people are speaking about, and rightfully so, in my opinion. Sometimes the simple observation is the right observation. They don't have a big who I think they can go to and trust. Unfortunately, I do think that does mean Zion at the 5 minutes are going to be a common thing. Unless they make a move, but they might. Defensively, I feel like last year they overexerted Herb Jones. I don't think I've seen a wing defender with as much defensive responsibility in the last 10 years than Herb Jones. The amount they ask him to do defensively and the fact that he's able to do it and the fact that he's so good at it is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that's a recipe for success when you end up having Herb be your point of attack defender, but then he's also your low man in pick and roll. He's also there having to rotate and try and protect the rim. Like, he's doing everything for you on defense because Zion is not a good defender. Valanciunas wasn't a good defender. Brandon Ingram was solid, like, in terms of his length and ability to contest shots. So he was cool. Trey Murphy was cool, but he missed a lot of the season. CJ's bad. They just lacked a lot defensively. And then this year, maybe DeJounte can bring some value probably at the point of attack, just to allow Herb some rest and ability to play off-ball defense and passing lanes and all of those things. But offensively, I think I just don't like the fit in the backcourt with DeJounte, CJ, and then with Zion. I don't like their front court at all. There's just too many questions and not enough reasons for me to be optimistic. So I have them fourth in the division. But if somehow things just go in a way I don't see it happening, I could see them being the second best team in the division. I could see that happening. I'm just not buying into it, but I do think there's a world in which it's possible. DeJounte turns back the clock defensively, and he's still the shot maker he is. Zion takes a jump because of his he's been better shape, so he's better defensively, better offensively. They don't really miss the fact that they don't have a 5. Brandon Ingram is all the way dialed in, and he can be their go-to shot maker in the half court in the late game situations. All of that happens, they can be the second best team in the division, in my opinion. But I got them fourth. There's too many reasons for me to be pessimistic, so I'm not very high on New Orleans this year.
All right, let me go ahead and throw this on the screen. This is a picture from Media Day. You can see New Orleans big 4. You got Zion looking humongous. You got DeJounte, who next to Zion and Brandon Ingram looks kind of small. And then you got Brandon Ingram and you got CJ McCollum.
And what are they missing? They missing a big guy.
Trey Murphy.
They missing a big guy too. They missing a big guy, and they don't have
Zion, man. Zion that 5.
Well, see, here's the thing, Chill. I'm a big man guy. I like the big man, and I think teams typically need a big man to be very good. Mm-hmm. In this case, however, the amount of pieces that the Pelicans have and the versatility that they have on the wing and just the different options that they have, and I believe this is a pretty gritty team defensively as well. DeJounte has to get back to old DeJounte. Not even necessarily saying he has to play at that level, but DeJounte has to become a defensive-oriented player, which I'm expecting him to do that just based on the team that he has around him. But due to the offensive pieces and the versatility and this team's ability to get out and run and the different things they can throw at you, I actually have the Pelicans winning this division.
But you have to get stops and rebounds in order to run.
And you don't have that. You don't.
Get stops.
All
no,
that
you say they have to get rebounds, or you say they have to get rebounds to get stops?
No, they have to make people miss shots, and then they have to end the possession with rebounds. Even if you believe DeJounte can get back to similar to what he was defensively, and they got Herb and they got Trey, who I know you like and I like too, and Brandon Ingram is a solid defender. Even if you believe they can get the stops, where's the rebounding?
Got a gang rebound.
Okay, it's cool.
You got it. You got a gang rebound.
I'm with gang rebounding, which means your whole team has to crash.
Mm-hmm.
So then getting out and running becomes a bit of more of a problem because now it's just going to be grab and go, which is slower.
It does. Also, too, here's one thing that we have to factor in, too, and this is just the reality of the NBA we play in. It's not a lot of rebounds that come off in the paint anymore. With the shot diet and people chucking up a lot of threes, it is a lot of long rebounds. So when DeJounte gets a long rebound, he's pushing a break. And anybody else that's on the floor, essentially, if you're playing, let's say you're playing Zion 5 minutes, which I like and I don't like. I like the fact that Zion has a mismatch at any given moment in time. And it's nothing that you can do with Zion at that moment in time.
Right.
But also, too, Zion does have to play defense, and it just depends on the team that you're playing against where you'll be able to take advantage of that. But a lot of teams don't play through their bigs anyway, so it's kind of like, whatever. But it does leave a rebounding crisis. But once again, Brandon Ingram, you got to put a body on somebody and you got to go crash the glass. Trey Murphy, you got to put a body on somebody and you got to go crash the glass. But also, too, we're not I don't think we're giving Daniel Tice enough as much love as we can. Daniel Tice he's a physical guy. Daniel Tice can get you, he can get you. He's not Valanciunas. He's not Valanciunas. Look, Valanciunas is dead. Valanciunas and Larry Nance are dead and gone. Chill. I'm not going to try to compare it. I can't compare them to them. But I do know Valanciunas was getting played off the floor. So if that's the case, and if they had to play those games without Valanciunas,
he still was better than what they had though, Ron. And don't get me wrong, he was getting played off the floor against Oklahoma City, but he was still solid. He still was giving them good minutes, and that was because that was because of Oklahoma City stretch five. Okay, I won't argue that. However, he still gave them more valuable minutes as a glass cleaner and as a bucket getter than what they have now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at Valanciunas, like I said. Also, we'll see what Misi can bring. They're clearly high on him as a rookie, but then they also got another guy named Trey Jamison. He was pretty good for the in spot minutes.
He was on the Grizzlies.
Yeah, and he was pretty. I liked what he brought to them. I didn't realize that they had him on the team until I was just looking through some things the other day. I do like Trey as a big dirty work guy to come in, get rebounds, get fouls, push some people around, get tip dunks and things like that. He was pretty good for the Grizzlies. So I mean, those are three guys. But outside of that center position, obviously that is a need that they have to fill, and they have to figure out what they're going to do. It's really just the other guys. I like DeJounte next to Brandon Ingram, next to Zion. I like him being a distributor for this team. You guys know how I feel about Jose Alvarado coming off the bench. I like Alvarado. Trey Murphy, I'm as high as anybody on Trey Murphy, and I'm damn near in favor of starting Trey Murphy. And you got to tinker some things around, Mars, but that's how.
Wait. What would your starting five be?
CJ could come off the bench.
Who's your starting five, Ron?
Because I'm not going to. Herb has to start.
Herb 100%. Ron, do not make that face. Don't do that.
But see, also too though, I'm in favor of moving off Brandon Ingram and filling his role.
Yeah,
with
Trey. Said that, but I'm saying with the current roster,
it's like Trey has to come off the bench, but Trey is so good to me. I think he's good enough to start.
I agree.
I think he needs to be a starter. But right now, opening day, this is who they're going to roll out. It's going to be CJ, DeJounte, Brandon Ingram, Zion,
and Herb.
Herb might end up coming off the bench.
Ron, they starting.
I don't care if Herb comes off the bench and plays 36 minutes a game. I'm done with the New Orleans Pelicans. If he is a starter, I don't care.
You can't give me legit logic. You can't do it. You can't.
See, CJ might have to come off that pine this year. That's really what might have to happen.
Get him to come off the bench. I've been trying to get him.
CJ might have to go ahead and just take that role coming off the bench and provide an instant offense off the bench. Ideally, DeJounte, Herb, which I love them as defenders in the backcourt if DeJounte gets back to what he's supposed to be. Then you got Brandon Ingram and Zion. Love them as the 3 and 4. And then Daniel Tice. That's how you got to rock.
40, I'm thinking 40. I'm thinking 42, 43 wins. I don't think this team sniffs the playoffs. I don't.
They're above 500, and you talking about they don't sniff the playoffs.
The
West is crazy.
It's a nightmare, Mars. It is. It's a nightmare. It is. So and I told you, I told you not to deal with that dude. I told you that, and you did it anyway. I told you not to deal with that dude. And it's the same dude who's running with Baba, who said on here, since you want to hold somebody accountable, it's the same Baba who said, I come on here specifically to piss Chill off. You said that. Specifically, you said that. I come on here every day to piss off Chill. I don't pay attention to you because I think you are goofy too, but I told you, Ox, not to deal with that dude, and you did it anyway.
Oh, man, I didn't know he was such a trankster.
Yes.
What's a trankster?
A transgender gangster.
That's what it sounds like to me. That's what that sounds like to me.
Okay. We still got to get to the Spurs, so let's do that. Before we do so, MP13 said over under on Bronny minutes per game.
He gonna be in the G League. So how many minutes?
He's not gonna play much.
Yeah,
he won't play much, but he will play though.
Yeah, he'll get in garbage time, and when he's been called up, he'll be there. Play like 3 minutes. They'll have him and Bron out there for like a minute or something. See if like they can get an assist or something. But he's not gonna play. He's gonna be in the G League this year. JJ Redick's already said he's not part of the rotation.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to play heavy minutes at all.
Yeah,
he's gonna get called up at some point though.
Yeah, he'll get minutes throughout the season. They'll have injury problems in the backcourt. He'll probably have a game where he'll play like 22 minutes or something, where they're resting guys, and then he might score like 11 points, and guys will be like, "Oh, Bronny should be in the rotation."
Easy. Let's chill out. Let's chill out.
Gandhi KV2
by like February, March, he might get to playing 12 to 17 minutes again.
Yeah, that's the time of the season where like if the Lakers are comfortably in the playoff spots, or they know they're going to be in the play-in, they'll start resting guys, and guys like Bronny and Dalton and Jackson Hayes. They'll get more minutes just for like.
So Dalton's not in the rotation either.
He's the JJ said so. He's got his starters, as already said: D'Lo, Austin Reeves, Rui, Bron, AD. Then he said the other guys who are like going to be. He wants to run a 9-man. He said it's going to be Gabe Vincent, Christian Woods, Jared Vanderbilt when he's healthy, Cam Reddish, Dalton Connect, Max Christie, all fighting for like their spots in the rotation. That's what he said. Okay.
I mean, him still trying to get AD to shoot more threes, I think it's crazy. But
he said he's got a theory about why AD's shot has fallen off recently. So if AD can get back to shooting, well, AD's never really shot the three well. But if AD can just become a better jump shooter, back similar to what he was a few years ago, I can understand him wanting him to shoot a bit more. I still wouldn't want AD to shoot.
I seen something yesterday where it said that since AD got to the Lakers, he shot 29% on catch and shoot and 27% on the move. Basically saying he's the worst shooter in the NBA that shoots over a certain amount of threes.
Yeah, I think his 3-point shooting numbers are very similar, to be honest. Very similar. And it's interesting like how they both get spoke about in terms of like their ability. But like last year, AD was 29% on catch and shoot threes.
Why would a coach want to force somebody to shoot more threes if they're not good at it?
I don't know, because that's not even spacing at that point. Like that's why I don't understand. Like AD's not a floor spacer. The year before he shot 28% on catch and shoot threes. AD's just he's not a shooter at this point. 28% on catch and shoot threes in 2023, 29% last year. I go back to 2022, he was 17.5% on catch and shoot threes. And then 2021, so all the years post the championship. And 2021, he was 28.6%. He hasn't shot above 30% on catch and shoot threes in 4 seasons.
And he wants him to shoot more. I understand.
All right, y'all. We are going. Well, let me read Gandhi KV2 super chat. He's been a member for a month, but we know Gandhi. Gandhi said, "Give him in the keys," but Tyler Kolek over Reed Shepherd.
I like Tyler Kolek, but be humble. And I'm telling you, Amen this year isn't going to be our best player in terms of like running the offense through him.
He's the future though.
Next year, 25-26, he's going to be our best player.
All right. Last but not least, we have the San Antonio Spurs. This is an intriguing team. Guys, talk to me on what you feel like the improvement, if there is improvement, for the Spurs will be. Once again, we talked about I talked about the Pelicans getting better. You guys all talked about them getting worse, but we talked about all the other teams getting better, and then we're expecting the Pelicans to get better, I'm assuming. So keep in mind, everybody can't get better, right?
Yeah, they can. They just can't get better. Like, everybody can't get better than everybody else. Like, I can't get better than Mars, and I mean, it just can't work like that. Not where San Antonio can get better. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get better than New Orleans. New Orleans could get better. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get better than Houston. Dallas can get better. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're better than Memphis. That's just not the way that works.
Yeah, them missing Devin Vassell to start the season. That's a big deal in my opinion. If they are trying to compete, them missing their second best player, that's a big deal. I just think everyone expecting them to like make a play-in push. Well, not everyone. The people expecting them to make like a play-in push or be competitive, I think they're just jumping the gun. I think what they've done is they've got the veterans that Houston got or that the other young teams get to where they can help develop the young guys to play the game the right way. Chris Paul is going to be great for Trey Jones. He's going to be great for Wemby. Harrison Barnes is going to be great for a Keldon Johnson, a Devin Vassell. The professionalism, the understanding how to play winning basketball, all of those things. This is a team that I don't think is trying to win, but they're trying to play the right way. So they got the veterans that are good for that. So I don't think success for San Antonio is seeing, how many games are they going to win? They won 21 last year or whatever, 22. I don't know how many games they won. They lost 60 games. I know that. It's not going to be, if they win 35, 22. If they win 35, that's success. I don't think that's success for San Antonio. Success is development of Jeremy Sohan, development of Devin Vassell, development of Wemby, of course. Guys beginning to play the right way, guys understanding their roles, understanding how to be an impactful NBA player. And if that turns into 35 wins, great. But if they're still a 26-win team and in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes, but they're playing the right way and they're developing, great. That's what success is for San Antonio. Guys playing the right way, not playing ways they shouldn't be playing, not making bad decisions, not missing guys wide open on the roll, not taking ill-advised shots, all of those things. That's what needs to be ironed out, not how many wins they're going to get. But naturally, they play the game better with Wemby taking a jump, which I think everyone projects. Naturally, they're probably going to win a few more games. 28, 29, that's probably where I have them. But still the worst team in the division. But nothing wrong with that. They're not ready to start winning.
I think with the vets they just brought over there, Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, I think they got a lot to teach the youngsters. And with Wemby getting better, I can see this team around 32, 33.
10 wins is a huge jump, yo. 10 wins is a huge jump.
In this West, in this division, 10 wins more is a big deal.
Yes, it is. 100% it is. So
yeah, I think they can do that though. I think Chris Paul really is going to teach Wemby a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just on ways, just simple things though. Things that are simple, but they expand your game a lot more. Things like angles, where to get the ball, how to get the ball. You know what I'm saying? Just a lot of it's just angles. I think it's a lot of stuff that he did with DeAndre Ayton when he got to Phoenix.
Wemby is so skilled and so talented. Like, and I know everyone loves the sidestep, step back threes, or when he sham got him Rudy and all of those things. Wemby will be better when he does less. Offensively, I'm talking. Mm-hmm. Wemby will be better when he does less. When he sets better screens and he's able to play in the middle of the floor in the pick and roll, or he's able to roll hard to the rim and he's able to absorb that bump on the roll and he's able to still finish. And like Ox said about the angles when he's driving and being able, like Jabari Smith, being able to, he's 7'4". If he can get as low as possible on those drives and all those, once he simplifies his game, he's going to be more effective. Like the face-up jumpers from Wemby right now, horrible shots. If he can become better at them, it's viable. Mm-hmm. But right now, anytime Wemby takes a mid-range shot, he's letting the defense off the hook. Every time. I think he was the least efficient mid-range player in the league. Like every time he does that, because he's so off balance and he's sped up and he's rushed and guys get in his airspace. If he simplifies his game, it might not look as aesthetically pleasing, but he will be 10 times more effective offensively and defensively. If the block chasing and all those things and the discipline on the perimeter. If Wemby stops it's weird. Wemby makes less eye-popping plays, he'll probably be better than he was this year. I have Wemby as the 4th best center in the league next year.
Top 5 center.
Mars, a lot of that's in large part due to him just his age and his strength. I don't want to say age, but strength.
Development, physical development.
Yeah, like what they said that he put on 35 pounds or 25 pounds?
20. I think he's 235 now, so 25 pounds.
So, I mean, that if he did do that, which weight doesn't necessarily mean you're stronger, but if he did do that and he's stronger and, he's able to bang a little bit more, he'll stop shooting those turnaround shots and the game will simplify a lot more because he can kind of impose his will.
So, Ron, what are we looking at in terms of the offense for the San Antonio Spurs? Like, how are we implementing Wemby this season in the offense with the addition of Chris Paul? Because we saw Wemby last year in transition, how they weren't able to find him. So now with Wemby just running to the basket and that's something simple. When he's asking to just throw the ball to the rim, that's something simple. They even had a difficult time doing that. So now you add Chris Paul to that, right? You add Chris Paul to the mix where Chris Paul can drop the ball to him in the post. Chris Paul can catch him in transition. How are we gonna enhance Wemby in the offense specifically? I already know how we're gonna use him defensively. And the way that we're going to use him defensively is he's going to be more of a post presence. He's going to be more of a rim protector. As bad as Mars says he was last year as a one-on-one defender on the block, I think Pop has recognized that. I don't think that you're in the minority, Mars. I think that Pop has recognized that, and he's going to do a better job in putting Wemby in position to be better as a defender. Right. So the question I'm asking is, how are we going to implement Wemby offensively? So when the game slows down, are we throwing the ball to him on the block? Are we getting him in switches in the mid range where he can operate there more? Can we put him in the dunker spot? How are we implementing Wemby in this offense?
Transition for one.
Yes, 100%.
Him running the floor is, other than Giannis and maybe Zion. I mean, old man LeBron too. Like, he's probably the most dangerous side, just running the lane, not dribbling, not bringing it up himself, but filling lanes. He's probably one of the most scary sides in the league. Pick and roll, definitely pick and roll. Hopefully the added weight and understanding screening angles and when to roll, and having Chris Paul as a pick and roll partner should help him in terms of just getting easy looks at the basket in that regards. I still think they're going to use him as like a pick and roll ball handler and stuff. I think he's shown that development towards the end of the season. So like, him and Jeremy Sohan in 4 or 5 pick and rolls, or him and Devin Vassell when he comes back, and like Devin Vassell going to be slipping screens and all of those things. They're going to use him in that regard. I just think they're going to take a lot of the isolations out, a lot of the mid-post isolations, unless he's better at them. But a lot of those isolations, a lot of the inefficient shots he took, they're going to take them out, and they're going to replace them with more set offense where he is going to be in the pick and roll. He's going to be in the dunker spot where you can't help off of him because you're going to give up a lot more offensive rebounds. Just putting him in more organized situations where he can be more efficient. Efficiency is going to be the goal. Less skill work. I know he worked with Jamal Crawford, but it's going to be less of that. It's going to be less of the freelance, just improvised stuff. I think it's going to be a lot more set offense for him, and that's what he needs. And then defensively, I think he's probably going to be the best defender in the league this year. Probably going to be the best defender in the league. So I can see him being the 3rd best center in the league, if I'm being honest. If everything goes right, I can see him being the 3rd best center in the league.
Mars, I still think it's going to be a good amount of freelancing and isolation plays with him, just because he's such a talent. And also, too, part of that is developing and honing those skills, and the best way to do it is in game against actual defenses and learning how to deal with different schemes and different things that people throw at you. So I don't think Pop is necessarily just going to shut that down. In large part due because I don't think this team is going to be all that competitive as well. So it's still going to be an experimental year. Wemby, we want to see you in this area. Wemby, let's see if you could do this. Wemby, go and, drive off the perimeter a little bit more and, work on these certain things. But, I mean, obviously having Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, and the younger guys that just got older, I think that's going to help. Well, it's not even I think. We all know it's going to help him a lot more. He'll be able to get the ball in better positions. I think, and he'll just get the ball more often too. Chris Paul's throwing those lobs. Harrison Barnes knows how to make a post pass, but on top of that, they know how to competently space the floor and just where to be at and certain things like that. They know when to cut, where to cut. They can tell these other guys those certain things too. So that does help a lot. I don't think I want to put this on the screen too, because we got to put some things into context. I don't think that they're going to make a major jump just because it's so many other good teams in the West that it's like, even if they were to jump 10 games, somebody else then has to drop 10 more games too, because it's just like everybody can't just
everyone can't win more games because there's not enough games for everyone to keep winning.
Exactly. So here's what we're looking at. Let me zoom in on this right quick.
Hey, bro, am I crazy though? I don't know if the West is this much better than the East, John. Like,
I don't think
they got more teams.
At the top.
Yeah,
I don't think it's that different. I just think the West goes down to 11 or 12, and the East
got
goes
more
down to
teams.
7.
Yes,
that's the difference. I think.
So I don't even want to focus up here, but I mean, and so we got the Clippers getting worse. I think we can all acknowledge that the Clippers will drop down into this area.
Oh, and seeding wise, yeah.
So the Clippers will drop. The rest of these other teams, I think the Thunder stay up there. The Nuggets stay where they're at. The Wolves stay where they're at. Relatively, things can change up a little bit. The Mavs will stay in this area. The Suns will more than likely stay in this area. You guys have the Pelicans dropping, and that's the popular opinion. So I'll roll with you guys on this one. So we got the Clippers and the Pelicans both dropping. After that, do the Lakers and the Kings rise? Do they drop?
That's the I think everyone has the Warriors dropping. I was the only one who was relatively optimistic. So like the only teams dropping are the Clippers, the Pelicans, and the Warriors. And then you predict a Rockets, Kings, Lakers, and everyone else either a rise or relatively the same.
Okay.
Plus Memphis obviously rising.
See, and that's so Memphis has to rise.
Like that's 55. Like there's only a certain amount of losses each team can.
Yeah.
There's only so many games. So if we project a Memphis improvement, a Houston improvement, Kings, Lakers, Suns, Mavericks, all of them to be really good, then you're either predicting the Portland Trail Blazers, the Spurs, or the Jazz to be historically bad, to where when you play them, like they go 7-75, or the bottom of the East is so bad that the West, every single team in the West beats them twice. So that's an extra, let's say there's 7 bad teams. That's an extra 14 wins for every team in the West. Like, there has to be historically bad teams in the NBA for us to believe all of these teams can win 50 games, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
somebody has to win. And it was weird because only one team won 30 games in the West last year, and it was the Jazz. But it got to be a couple 30-win teams, and some of these teams have to win 20 games. And I just believe the Spurs are going to be one of those teams. Obviously, you have the Jazz. I think the Jazz are going to get pounced on. The Blazers.
The Blazers are the only team we actively know are trying to lose. Like
did
every other team.
DeAndre Ayton? Did you see DeAndre Ayton in
he came in on good vibes, man. I liked his vibes. I liked his energy. I liked his energy.
Seems happy.
Yeah, he seems content. I like it. I mean, I've been
maybe
saying
he did some of that. Maybe he did that shit that what's his name? Aaron Rodgers did. He did that ayahuasca.
Or maybe he just bought a good bed, Ox. Maybe the boy been getting his sleep.
Yeah, he been getting his beats.
That pissed me off so bad.
But yeah, that's my thing though. Is it's like somebody has to, either these teams down here have to stay down here, or one of these teams up here, a couple of these teams have to drop in order for the Spurs to take a rise. And I guess the Spurs can go up 10 games and replace these two teams, can flop the Spurs in the Jazz. But we know the Grizzlies are going to rise. So if the Grizzlies rise into which we're all expecting what, top 8 seed for the Grizzlies, somebody else has to fall. And I mean, I think we can agree that the Warriors fall as well. But if Houston jumps up, do Houston and the Clippers just flip flop?
There's only so many spots, basically.
Like, yeah.
You can't have 12 top 8 seeds. So
no, we can't.
One team is going to be quote unquote disappointing because they end up as the 10 seeds. When really and truly, it's just the West is that stacked. Like if the Lakers end up a 10 seed, people might call it a disappointment, but it's like someone had to finish 10th. It might be Phoenix, it might be the Rockets, it might be the Suns. I mean, I said the Phoenix. It might be anyone. Like the West is just so, I think, close from 3 through like 10. It's like anyone can really finish anywhere. Like, I don't know.
As you guys know, we will eventually get to our power rankings, and then we'll do our conference rankings where we'll rank all the teams in the Western Conference based on how we think that they'll finish the season, Western and Eastern Conference. So that should be amazing. Probably next week we'll get into that. We're wrapping up the divisions this week, but I'm eager to see exactly how that's going to be and how that's all going to transpire in terms of where we all believe that these teams will rank. But cool thing about it is it's gonna happen one way or another. So it's gonna be a good ass season this year. I'm excited to see where teams land.
Hoping teams stay healthy too. I don't want to see like the Suns get derailed by injuries or something. I don't want that. I don't want us to have a Memphis situation where a really good team ends up just being the 14th seed because of injuries.
And I mean, but that typically happens every year too.
See that again.
Yeah, it's probably gonna happen. Like it might be an early Kawhi Leonard injury or James Harden's ruled out for a few weeks and the Clippers just commit to. But the Clippers don't have their pick, so I don't think they can afford to commit to a tank. But like that might happen where a team just ends up being hurt for like 4 weeks, go on a bad loser streak, and they just commit to Cooper Flag.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to see. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get into these super chats. Do you guys have anything else to say about the Spurs?
No, I think we covered everything.
All right, cool. Salute to everybody in the chat. Keep going, chat. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you become a member, and make sure ultimately you subscribe and turn on that notification bell. So when we do the PC breakings, you can know that we're breaking this news to you guys instantly in. So you can get notifications for Chill with Chill, Open Gym, from the logo, etc., etc. Kent Lipscomb Jr. sent through a members chat, and he said, when the Spurs finished third in the division, don't be surprised. We are better than what most people think. Hashtag Castle Rookie of the Year.
No, you're not. You're not better than what most people think. And what? So the question that needs to be answered is, what do most people think about you guys? Because if most people think that you're the worst team in the Western Conference again, like you were, or the second worst team in the Western Conference again, like you were last year, no, you're not going to be that. I think you're going to be better than that. I won't argue that. But if you think you guys are a top 6 seed or a bona fide playoff team, now you putting a lot on it.
Kent, I do think you guys are better, but it's just like my thing is I don't think Chris Paul is going to provide as much value as you guys believe he's going to, just because I don't think he's going to be on the court as much. I think he's going to help your younger guys, but he's not going to instantly make Trey Jones a all-star overnight. He's not going to instantly make Stephon Castle not have to go through the rigors of being a rookie in the NBA. He's not instantly going to make Sohan be a point forward like Scottie Pippen. Like these are things that take years to build on, and Harrison Barnes can't do it all by himself. I mean, he couldn't do it with the Kings. So what makes you think he's going to be able to come over here and do it with these young guys? Ox, I wasn't a shot. I'm just saying, like, we can't do it
like that.
Well, hey, I hope you have a good day, brother. One unemployment, said Ron. Where my perks at? Ox don't want to be my friend no more, so I'm sad, man. Ox, why don't you want to be one unemployment's friend?
You said what, Ron?
Why don't you want to be one unemployment's friend?
Because he a trickster. He ain't never popped nothing. He a trickster. He ain't never copped nothing.
Give me a break.
Niggas is nerds, bro.
You ain't no friend of mine? You ain't no kin of mine?
Oh, man.
All right.
And
now, also,
but you got some nerve talking about somebody being a bozo. You got some nerve talking about, of all the people here, you got some nerve talking about somebody being a bozo. You?
Leave me alone,
all the people,
I can have a little.
Of all the people talking about somebody being a bozo, you cannot talk about anybody being a bozo. That's Nas talking about Jay-Z saying, I know this dude ain't talking about me. You ain't no way you talking about me being a bozo. Not me, not you. Hell no.
Also, one unemployment. I don't know where the perks is at, brother. I can't tell you.
He gonna find him, but don't worry about it.
Slitherman said, I caught Ron's recap from yesterday, and he was just laughing to himself with no audio from the vids. I was laughing my ass off. That's my L host, Terrell Owens' voice. Was having technical difficulties, yo. It was nothing I could do. That's why I always ask you guys, can you hear the videos? Because I can't hear them when I put them up.
Right.
What?
I didn't know that.
That's somebody. I'm sure.
Yeah, so I didn't know you guys couldn't hear him, and then once I found that out, I was like, damn, well, I'm cooked. But go check out that recap video. It was still entertaining nonetheless.
How long was you up there in silence?
I wasn't up there in silence. Like they could hear me, they just couldn't hear the videos that I was playing.
They just don't know what he was laughing at, but they could hear him laughing.
Gotcha. Okay.
And babble is not cultural. That shit is short for babbling, like bah, 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 like you do. Babble all the damn time. That shit ain't cultural. Get the hell out of here. Okay, that shit is babbling like babies do. Shut the hell up. Your goofy ass.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
The one said, don't sit here and act like Luka don't get guys open.
Oh, I didn't say that. No. Luka definitely gets guys open. I'll never argue that. You mean you don't have the production that he has as a distributor when you don't get guys open. No, he does. He definitely does that. I just think he holds on to the ball a little bit too long. I think he has a tendency to hold on to the ball a little bit too long from time to time.
The one said, chill. Get in this body bag. You're cooked.
Does this channel have more Luka stands than anyone else?
I think
like,
so.
When you look at like the avatars and like when they send super chats, like I think there's more Luka like avatars and stuff than any other player.
Got a lot of Luka stands, a lot of chill stands. You know what I mean? But nah, Mars. I think, but you know what though, Mars? That is a testament to how good Luka Doncic is.
Yo, what's wrong with y'all in the chat? Like, why do y'all say the things that y'all say? And the thing about it is, like, it's easy for something to pop in my head and me to just split it out and just be like, oops, I probably shouldn't have said that. Y'all have to sit there and type these things out on your phone or on your keyboard so you can literally think about what you're saying. And you guys still say this type of stuff. It'd be mind-boggling. Y'all. All right, it's time to go ahead and wrap this show up. I see this has been one of them mornings for everybody.
Hey, don't got no proper home training.
Everybody, do some meditation today. Eat something healthy. Tell your mama you love her. Hug somebody. Hey, do something positive today. Hey, be like, come in tomorrow like DeAndre Ayton was during media day.
Nah, Ron, don't do that. This is the environment that y'all created. This is what y'all wanted. The zoo environment that y'all created. This is what y'all wanted. So this is what you got. So you got the goofies. This is how they act. And this is what it is.
All right. Well,
I told you, Ox, to stay away from that dude.
That was peak content, chill.
Mm-hmm.
That was peak content. I had to.
Masink OG said, this is why Mars in the PCL finals.
Facts.
Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Let's catch it. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I lose, then don't watch it.
And last but not least, Grande Jones said, I'm wrong, chill. My bad. I'm man enough to apologize.
So am I. Mm-hmm.
Mars, y'all got your topics yet?
Yeah, me and Pyro had to come up with them ourselves. You know, Ron was just sabotaging. So
I don't even know what you guys came up with.
We did topics that I think are fair, good basketball talk, and things that we are comfortable debating. We're not arguing a side that we don't necessarily agree with, and there's no ambiguity in the question. So I think it's gonna be a fair battle. It's gonna be a fair battle.
All right, y'all. Tomorrow we will see you guys again. Until then, be easy.
Merry Christmas.